Hello again, everybody. They said it wouldn't happen again, but here it is happening again.
Here it is again.
Here it is again.
Here we are.
Here we are again. We're doing it again.
Oh no.
I know.
The subreddit's blowing up over this one.
All 15.
You know that meme?
All hate
The
subreddits.
egghead meme.
Oh yeah. Dude, the DP subreddit will
And
be
he was
blowing up.
The DP subreddit's blowing up over this one, guys.
Was that Egghead that said
Yes,
that?
it was. Yes. Yeah.
Poor Egghead. I haven't. Is he still around? Is he still part of the DP crew?
He is actually.
That's cool.
Yeah. You know.
I had it out for Egghead for a while, but it's been a lot of years. I'm sure he's grown up along with the rest. Or not. Or not. You know, whatever. I'm trying to think.
I love the guy because he's grown on me, but yeah, he's Egghead doesn't change very easily. Like not.
Yeah, I should have known that. Dude, I will never forget that time when I think it was me and Beyond Fear forced him to clean that disgusting tub live on stream.
That's hilarious.
That shit was fucking epic. Some of the pictures that came out of that were just fucking unbelievable. He literally whined every step of the way, bro. I've never seen somebody cry so much about how well, that's not true. I lived with TJ for a year and a half. I mean, he'll say it. I'm not even shit talking TJ. He'll say it himself. He hates doing shit. The smallest task becomes the biggest fucking problem in the world.
Yes, he'll like work his feet into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if something's on the ground, he'll go and like kick it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bro, I saw some stuff, bro. Living with TJ. I've talked about it on our show, but just like one night, because we used to get like, of course, my fat ass and TJ's fat ass living in the same house. We got like good ass snacks, right? And like he would get the big, that big plastic jar of cheese balls.
Yes, from Costco.
Yeah, like the big Costco cheese ball thing, right?
Yeah.
And like me and him would just get handfuls out of that and eat and pass it back and forth when we were watching movies and shit. One night, like I got up at like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. And I heard the downstairs TV going. That meant TJ was up because he was the only person up at that hour. And I went down there and he was staring at the TV, so he didn't see me walk in. And I just looked at the scene. He was shoving those cheese balls into his face, right? Just going in and licking his fingers all salacious, like deep licks, like, and then back in, right? And then after a few minutes of that, he would like put his hand down, and my dog, Dinor, would lick his hand clean of all the cheese dust, and then he'd go back in. I was like,
no.
I was like, dude, I can't eat cheese balls no more. Okay, at least now I know what's happening with the cheese balls.
The first time listening to him eating cereal at like 2:00 in the morning was one of the most horrific sounds I've ever heard someone make while eating.
Just the munching and the breathing while eating.
Slurping.
The slurping,
yeah.
I'm bad too, though, dude. So the only reason I saw
TJ ever came to my house, like when me and him first started hanging out, it was like a small apartment that I had. He just randomly found the Oreos. He like went up into my cupboard and like found the Oreos and started eating them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he knows it. Scotty would try and hide things like in the cabinet behind things. You know what I mean? And TJ would always find his stash of like. Scotty would get like one bag of cookies and eat it over the course of a month. You know what I mean? He'd have a couple cookies here and there. TJ would find it and it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was the same way too.
TJ used to hide the cigarettes too. I was his accomplice when everyone thought TJ had quit smoking. I was his accomplice that he'd be like, bring me a pack of Black and Milds on your way over. Like,
yeah. Yeah, dude. I was a non-smoker when you knew me, and now I'm a fucking filthy smoker. I've picked back up.
Yeah. Did TJ get you into it?
No, it was actually breaking up with Ashley was what did it. She was so anti-smoking that I was like, fuck that bitch. I'm going to go get myself a habit. You know what I mean? And so the day she left, I went down and bought a pack of Reds, and I just have been smoking every day since.
Damn.
It's fucking
Yeah.
retarded. It's a stupid reason to pick back up, but I was a smoker for so long. It's not crazy that I did it. You know,
And
I
you were
smoked.
vaping and stuff too. It's only one step away.
Well, that's the thing is like I do want to quit. Eventually I will. It's just not like my number one priority right now. A lot of people think it should be, but like I've been doing like all kinds of life change stuff, health change stuff, and it's like one thing at a time, people. All right. I'm doing really good on the weight shit and exercising and all of that. Let me get that in hand and then I'll tackle this fucking shit. Cause it's such a crutch for me. I remember you used to make fun of TJ on DP. You're like, it's like his baby bottle. You know what I mean? Like he has to have, he would disappear in the, in the show and go down all the way down the elevators, the salty walk out to the front of the garage. It was a long ways to get downstairs to a place you could smoke,
You know that elevator, I knew 3 times when people got stuck in that elevator.
The central one or the one that went up to my apartment?
The one in the building where the studio was.
So I used to take the central one up, but you could actually walk across that stupid land bridge or whatever if you wanted to, because that building had 2 buildings that were connected by a land bridge, and I was above the grocery store, and the studio was up in the tower.
Yes. So there was when you would enter the building that the studio was in, you go in that door, you'd buzz in. Yeah. There was an elevator like right there.
Yeah.
I've only known that elevator to get stuck 3 times. And you'll hear a commonality in this story. The first time was me and Billy the Fridge. We got stuck in there. Billy the Fridge weighed 600 pounds at this point. Oh, we got stuck in it. And we were in there for there's a live stream of it too that lasts like almost an hour. Me and him got stuck in there, and we had to call like the maintenance people to come free us. We were in there for almost an hour. Then the second time I was in there with Billy the Fridge again, and it was like we were probably only in there for like 20 minutes. And then another time, Billy the Fridge and Pit Monk got stuck in there together for probably like I don't even know, like 15 minutes. And Pit Monk he almost had a heart attack.
Oh my God, bro. Pimp Monk, when he stayed with me, because he stayed with me in my little apartment there when he came on I think it was for the Wheel of Torture or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he was huge at that point. I think he's lost weight since then, probably, but he was huge. And that was where the mocha cigarette thing came from, because it was like an act of Congress for him to get up and go all the way down and walk all the way through the parking lot and out into where he could smoke and shit. But I wasn't about to let that motherfucker light up in my house. So I was like, yeah, it sucks to be you, bud.
Yeah.
He would just stand up and just go like, and then he'd be gone.
He's like a TikTok sensation now.
I know, he blew up over there. Weird Beard or whatever he's calling
King Beard. Yeah. Even like Discovery Channel stole a soundbite from him for Shark Week and shit like that. It was pretty weird.
Damn. Who knew?
He has a cartoon voice.
He does. No, I mean he could do voice acting stuff. I'm happy to see Pimp Monk have success, because like, say what you want about Pimp Monk's old content and shit, dude had a heart of gold, and he always showed up for shit, and he always gave his all, and he was good natured about our ribbing him about shit and stuff, and I give him props for that, and I'm glad he's having success now. That's always good to hear. Because I know for a while there it was rough for him, man. His mom needed money and he needed medicine, and
yeah, his dad passed away. I think maybe like 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So I'm always glad to see people that were chill doing well. That's why I'm worried about Bill, man. I want to chill with Bill when I go up there to Seattle. I want to chill with both of you guys if I can get you guys both fucking together and having a beer.
Yeah, we can have whenever we have special guests in town, we always have them all in the studio together.
Yeah, we'll be up there for Thanksgiving, so I'll DM you my fucking number and everything, so we can fucking hook up when I'm down there. Sure. But, for sure, 100%. Yeah, I'm just hoping that his health levels off and stuff. That was scary and shit. when I heard about him being hospitalized and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, it was unexpected. He was actually about to get into Keemstar's boxing thing that he's been doing, and he was training for it. He was going to fight some guy, and we were all going to fly out to Tennessee to see him fight this guy. And it's kind of actually a blessing that he didn't go through with it, because who would have known what happened? Like when you get in the ring with another man and it's mortal combat like that, who knows?
Yeah,
It could
no,
happen.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, just like, but with Billy though, like, I'll never forget the first time I met Billy, because it was just like we instantly took to each other. We kind of established the whole kayfabe thing on the ride up the elevator. See, I never rode that front elevator. I was in a different building, and so I would go to the garage elevator. That one was weird too. I saw a puddle of blood in there one time. Like just literally just a puddle of blood on the fucking floor of the elevator. I was like, all right, well, just riding this up to the fucking studio. This
I thought you said you saw a puddle of mud in the
no.
Wow.
That would have been worse. I'd rather see a puddle of blood on the ground than puddle of mud, bro. But yeah, no, Billy and I just hit it off immediately, and I loved that fucking kayfabe that we had. That was some of the most fun that I had. The fucking fake eye. I know it caused a lot of fucking fan blowback and shit, but damn, it was fun, man. One of them things,
Yeah, it's hard to even really gauge how much. Like, there's the comments, and there's like what the people who don't even tell you what they think.
Yeah,
and it's really difficult in the position that we've been in, that to really try to gauge that, because the people who don't like something are so loud about what they don't like, and the people who like it good enough or even a lot, they won't say too much usually.
Yeah,
so it's very weird.
There's definitely like an amplification of negativity. Like people, the negative voices, at least for me, I've never been able to pick through and like see the great balance of things are positive, but then there's these negative ones that float to the top that I'm just like, God damn it, that son of a bitch. But I've gotten better at that, but I'm still salty about like comments and people spinning their fucking narratives, put my name all over it and shit. I just hate that shit, bro. I
don't normally read the live chat because it just distracts me. I do slip sometimes, but I try to just ignore the live chat, because the people in there, they don't deserve to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I mean, the live chat, I've curated this live chat though, because like I do, like, ideology is just me fucking sitting out there and talking to myself for hours and talking to the chat basically. And yeah, I don't put up with shit. I was gonna tell the chat earlier, but I didn't want to, or that my wrenches. Tighten up on anybody like drama farming in the chat tonight. Anybody that's got like drama on the mind. It's clear there's no drama here, so
free drama zone.
Yeah, this is a no drama zone, and that's a good thing. Yeah, no, I was trying to do the math in my head, and I came up with 7 years since you and I had spoken prior to the last time we got together.
Yeah.
It really is fucking mind blowing. Number one, to me, that it's been that long. I think about DP and it feels like it was yesterday still. Like it's still fresh in the mind, Oh yeah, that was a couple of years ago. It's like, it's more than a couple of years ago now, Paul Ziegel. But it's odd to me, and I know you and I have similar circumstances coming to this type of job. We were both blue collar guys before this, or white collar at various times.
I was like a call center employee, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, but I did work a blue collar job. I worked in a diaper factory for many years.
Yeah. So we both had that similar thing, and just like, man, you fucking find a way to work for yourself and have fun doing it. It's like, man, you'll do anything, bro. Like I would, like people just don't, and they're the people that have done it for as long as we have done it are few and far between. Like there are a billion people that want to do what we do, and maybe like 20 of us that get to do it. You know what I mean? Like really.
Yeah. I'm kind of grateful I haven't had to resort to porn yet either, because I know so many people that had to.
I don't think I can do. Yeah, I don't think I can fucking fall back on porn at all. I think that's not an avenue for me.
There's,
So.
I mean, there was someone that was it Mr. Naughty Priest? He wanted your dick on Pornhub. There's still that to fall back on.
Dude, Naughty Priest dissed me so hard, right? I was telling him, he told me where he, like, the state he's in or whatever. And I was like, dude, I'm going to come visit you. And I was like, dude, I'm coming to your house, bro. I'm going to chill at your house and have a beer. I was like, or we can go to the bar. And he just got back in the chat. He was like, the bar would be fine. I was like, ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, Mr. Naughty Priest doesn't even want me in his domicile, bro. That one hit me like a ton of bricks.
Wow.
It's cool. Naughty Priest is awesome, though. He's still a big supporter, still drops, huge amounts of cash every once in a while just to say hi, which is awesome.
I saw someone bringing up Sex Twister, the hobo rap and all that shit. I did a cover of Peaches and Cream and the hobo rap years ago.
That's awesome.
Super fun. Yeah.
I like Sex Twister shit.
That was a crazy time in my early 20s when those guys were riding high as a local band. But back then it seemed like the biggest thing ever because they were bringing out, hundreds of people to a local show. Yeah.
Well, I remember the energy of like local shit and that during that time was different because like you could really feel like a band was about to break even if they weren't, you know what I mean? Because the local energy was super hype. And it's just sad that so many of those local bands didn't go like it seemed like they were going to.
And now it's impossible. Like you're better off just plugging away online to try and get some kind of attention. Playing local clubs in a small town or even a big city won't get you that much exposure.
Yeah, so. Especially for like a rock act, like rap acts and shit. Now you can self-produce, and there are ways that you could get yourself out there. But yeah, I feel like rock is a little good.
It kind of goes along with whatever the trend is in pop music. Like the underlying style of music and pop music has shifted throughout our lifetime. Like when we were kids, it was rock music. Like Michael Jackson's Beat It, that was a pop song, but when you listen to it, there's an Eddie Van Halen guitar solo.
Oh yeah,
that song. But now most pop music is like hip hop or even like beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the game has fundamentally changed since we were kids, and both of us, I think, had similar. Like, I roadied for a band. I had a garage band back in high school, and then I roadied for a band in the early 2000s, and it just felt like you had the ability to get, a deal or something. And now I would just be like, no, fucking, there's no point. Live venue stuff for that kind of music, especially, is just. It's fun to go to. I mean, people are still out there touring and, but they're not doing it to try and break anymore. It's like some of these bands just do it for the love of it. It's like they're weekend warriors. They work all week. And then on the weekend they go tour and make a couple $100. I don't know. It's just kind of sad.
In Seattle, you could be a local band and make good money and everything, but they're not looking for the next big band in Seattle like they were 30 years ago.
Not at all. Yeah. They're looking for totally different things and shit. But
there's an amazing radio station here called KEXP, and they're a public radio station. They're not commercially owned. And they have a great YouTube channel that people can check out. And they have some of the best like indie bands and even some better known bands come there and perform live in the studio. And they sponsor all the like really good local shows and everything. And they have like a TV show on public TV around here. And that's what I listen to when I'm in the car. If I'm not playing something off my phone or whatever, I listen to KEXP.
Yeah, I mean, the West Coast, Seattle, Portland, LA, you know what I mean? Frisco, like those are the last bastions of the ability to have that kind of like prosperous local music career that might turn big. Like if you're honestly serious about music at all, and knowing that it's like as almost 0% chance, if you want a chance at all, I feel like you got to be out West. Especially now. If you're wanting to do the traditional thing of like building a fan base through live performance and then, getting discovered and getting a deal and all that. It's possible, but only out here, I think.
You're gonna pass out mixtapes.
Yeah. Yeah. The old mixtape days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Getting old and stuff. We talked a little bit about it last time you were in here, but it's fun, man. I'm having fun getting old, to be honest with you. I know that there's like lots of negativity that comes with it too, but I actually like it. I'm liking my get off my lawn phase.
Yeah, good. I mean, I did just schedule another colonoscopy the other day, so there's that.
Yeah, I gotta go get my poop chute looked at for sure.
Have you ever had one?
I have. I had one.
That prep is so brutal.
It's awful. Yeah, you're just drinking that fucking poop juice all day.
It tastes gross to me too, and then you just shoot liquid diarrhea for like a whole day.
Yeah, it's gross. It's real gross.
The last time I had one, I was doing a live stream and I showed the pictures from the inside of my colon.
Yeah.
On YouTube. It was pretty interesting. And people were like, there's poop in there. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be, it's your ass. What do you think in there? There's going to be duty in there. Come on. No, yeah, I mean, that type of stuff getting old sucks, but I don't know, man. I feel like I kind of like have settled into myself a little better, and like I know what I want now, and I don't feel as like adrift. I feel like I've got a plan, and I'm just kind of like going forward, and that feels nice.
That's good though.
Yeah.
But I wish I could say the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how fucking true that is and how much that is just me gassing myself up, but I do feel like I've got like an I'm oriented towards something. I'm working my way towards it. It's a long road.
Plans. It's just I never rely on plans to work because so many fail.
Yeah, no, that's true. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. I'm in the mode now where it's not that I want to quit doing online stuff. It's just that I want something outside of that.
You could do Amaranth. She owns a bunch of gas stations, allegedly.
Yeah, see? So all I'd have to do is be like a titty streamer for a while until I build up and then buy a gas station chain and call it a day.
You have to buy a hot tub and install it in your house and ride an inflatable banana in a bikini for probably like 5 years, and then you can own a gas station.
That sounds attainable. I could do that.
I can't remember the last time I was on here. Did I tell you about the Cocoa Leaf Cafe in Vancouver?
I don't think so.
Oh God. So I'm going to Vancouver soon because my buddy's having a memorial service there.
Yeah.
And there's Vancouver led North America in ending prohibition on cannabis. They kind of started that there, where they had like Amsterdam style coffee shops where you can buy weed and sit there and smoke it publicly, and you have a beverage and even a meal.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now they're doing it with basically all other drugs, and they're selling many of them. Like I went, I'm buddies with Adam from Your Movie Sucks, and I was there about a year ago staying at his place, and we went to this place. It's called the Cocoa Leaf Cafe, and it's basically a coffee shop, but instead of serving coffee, they serve you tea made out of cocoa leaves. And I'll tell you what, that shit is no joke.
I bet. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Me and him,
like down in South America and Central America and shit, they chew those leaves constantly.
Yeah, so, that makes sense. Like me and Adam went in there. We were kind of afraid about what it would do to us. So we're like, let's split one. We drank it. And then within like 10 minutes, we're like, let's get another one,
Yeah.
And they sold, no lie, peyote, these giant ass shrooms, like crazy huge shrooms, LSD shooters. You can do just like a little shooter of LSD in this place, all legal. They have a DMT vape pens. I'm like, that's crazy. I would freak out.
You did tell me about that DMT vape pen.
Okay.
That on the go, man. I can't imagine needing that. But that's cool,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, that's a strange, like, social experiment.
Yeah, and there was only one there a year or two ago, and now there's like 5 of them. It's kind of like the dispensaries there in Vancouver. They kind of paved the way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been liking as dispensaries have started to like pop up more and more in my area and shit. So it's gotten easier and easier for me to find good weed, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because people think California is just like ubiquitous with it, but my little hometown just got their first weed, in the city, first weed shop. So, it's still a process of getting all these little rural towns and shit in on it. But
my hometown just got one recently too, because it took them forever to legalize it in that state. Like they were advocating it 10 years ago. And it didn't pass because people got tricked into voting. They were like Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees is going to own all the weed shops, and it's going to be a monopoly. So you guys shouldn't vote for this because next year we're going to get legal weed the libertarian way, and we're all just going to grow it in our backyards and sell it. We're going to go from totally illegal to like a free for all, selling it to like anybody with no regulation. And it's like, dude, like if you want that, you got to work your way towards that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I am hearing my myself echo a little bit now. I don't know why. It seems to come and go, but it ain't no big deal.
I'm gonna switch something up and see if this fixes it. Give me a second.
Yeah, it ain't no big deal. While you're doing that, hold up. I'm gonna go grab something to drink. What? Okay. Oh shit! I gotta bring Ben back in.
Tired of that.
All right, there we go. Howdy.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Ben went and got his vape.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right, good.
A light of fresh joint.
Yeah. I got these are because I used to always drop the vape cartridges and break them. So I have these vape batteries that kind of protect them. So when I drop it, they won't get broken, and they fit smaller because you know, like the long pens you just like screw it into.
Yeah.
Those are trash.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, they'll leak and everything.
Yeah, they break in your pocket and shit if you bend the wrong way. It's just fucked.
Yeah.
So
this is like
nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just old school. It's more expensive to do it that way, but I budgeted in to just smoke fucking flower because I don't know. I feel different when I get vaped up.
Yeah, I kind of prefer that, but I know what you mean. Mainly, I do normally get flower. I don't have any right now, but I do the vape when I'm in public, or if I go to a place where like there's absolutely no weed consumption, I'll go into the bathroom and take a couple vapes. I'll sit in
Yeah.
the stall or
I
whatever.
take them in with me to the I have a whole method, man. I'll bring them into the movie theater with me, because if you hold in vape for long enough, you don't really blow out anything.
Right.
And so for me, it's like I'll take it in there, like filter it through my like sweater. I'll take my like sweater and I'll take a hit and I'll hold it for like, 20, 30 seconds, let it out all super slow. Nobody ever knows, bro. I can sit there and get super baked at the movies, which is nice.
Yeah, I've done that. I've gotten kicked out of places though for doing that too. Not the movies, but like other places where I was like super drunk and didn't realize I shouldn't do the vape where I was, and I'm like, and then they're like, "You're out of here."
Yeah, you're
That's
fucking
happening.
out of here, buddy.
Yeah. Yep.
Remember the first
I
time
still have the Vader piece, by the way.
Oh yeah, you guys still ripping Vader? Good. Yeah.
He's clogged up right now, and I was like, fuck that. And I like didn't feel, because it's such a chore, because it's one of those very narrow stems. It's really hard to unplug it.
He's old school. Like he's an old school bowl. So you got to be careful with him, and he needs to be fucking cleaned out and all that. But it's a good ripper. I liked Vader.
Yeah. I put Vader in a few different
back in the old DP studio, there was a homemade gravity bong. It was like a fucking bottle with a rubber grommet.
I still have that.
Oh my god, dude, that gravity bong was the tits, bro.
I still have all the old shit. I still have that I haven't gotten rid of.
That gravity bong was the best gravity bong. It was just like a made homemade gravity bong thing that somebody sent us, I think.
The most amazing thing that I acquired that was just like left behind was the action figure set. Do you remember that? Can I show it to you? Because it's fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. The group of each of us had an action figure, right?
They are the most amazingly made, like probably even like handmade action figures, full color, full action, even the like wrist move and everything. And they have accessories that come in each package, and they're in a sealed package with like the traditional like action figure background.
Yeah.
And some of them have extra, like mine had a guitar, and I think TJ's might have had like a little manatee figurine and a banana.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I remember those were really cool. There were just like a lot of like creative fans and stuff that sent us weird shit. I've still got a lot of that stuff that like I've got like I think there's like a tie-dye thing that somebody made. Or I might have left.
I still have some of that tie-dyed shit. I have a weed grinder that looks like a giant ninja star.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
People used to send us some crazy shit. I remember like they used to get mad at us because the fucking PO box would be full.
Yep.
And like we'd go down to it, and there'd be like we'd literally have to load up the back of TJ's SUV with packages and shit.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, he tried to act like he was doing me a favor one time. He was like, "You know what, Ben? You don't have to worry about picking up the mail this day," because it was like around Christmas where all the candy came in.
Yeah.
He was like, "You know what? You don't have to worry about picking it up around this time. I'll handle it all." I'm like, "Why is TJ volunteering to do something?"
Yeah, dude. He's gonna take the Christmas candies, dude.
Yes, he wanted to take all the fucking Christmas candy. Seriously, that's what he wanted, because TJ doesn't normally volunteer to do something.
Yeah.
Like a chore.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those days were crazy for me. There's a lot of assumption that goes into like how things work on shows that I like to dissuade people of. Because a lot of people would like misinterpret the fact that I was not. They were like, they don't understand that me being on the show didn't mean I owned the show. Like they don't understand that being a performer on something doesn't mean that you have ownership over it. And so, you know, like, I think people assume a lot, you know what I mean? Like, about that. You guys were always fair with me, but it was a struggle being on that show and living in Bellevue and shit. I made ends meet. I made it work, but only just, you know what I mean? I only was able to just do it. And but that was like some of the most fun I had. That fucking year that I was in Bellevue was like so seat of my pants, but it was just so crazy.
Yeah,
So, like,
Bellevue is just insane.
every day was a thing. It was like something every day was happening. It just felt like dynamic to work at that time.
Yeah, like in an exciting way, not in a cumbersome kind of way.
I mean, it was cumbersome some days. I mean, there were days where, you know, we'd show up and it'd be like, fuck, man, still hungover from the last show and we got another one tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But, you know, as far as like a job goes, it's obviously a chill fucking job in comparison to other jobs. And especially,
I remember
getting to be creative with it. There are times where, you know, I mean, we were there for fucking hours and hours chasing bugs and trying to hook up new technology and, you know, testing things and doing like retarded impromptu middle of the night streams. And there was always some shit going on, man. I remember walking down to 13 Coins because I'd stay late after the show to do some of the work I did in the studio. And when I'd stream while I was doing that, and then I'd walk all the way down like that. You know, it wasn't that far, but
Bellevue Way.
Yeah, just right down the middle to 13 Coins, and I'd say they'd always make me up a fucking sandwich or whatever in the middle of
It's so sad after COVID, 13 Coins is no longer 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm glad it's still there. I'm glad it actually survived there though, because it's like a good ass little fucking like American sandwich eatery. It's not like gonna blow your socks off, but back in the day, 24 hours being able to go in there and get a big nice Reuben or like a hot brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you could sit at like the like chef's table there?
Yeah, yeah.
And watch them cook and everything. Yeah. Well, I went there one night. It was probably like 2 a.m. When we still had the studio down there, and this like very attractive, scantily clad Asian woman sat next to me and kept talking to me and asking me how I'm doing and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? Like at first I was like, huh, must be looking extra good tonight, huh?
Yeah.
But then eventually I'm like, what's going on? And then like I just ignored her because she was like getting annoying. And then later on, Billy the Fridge told me that's where all the hookers hang out late at night when they're like trying to turn one last trick at the end of the night.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know. I mean, it had that feel about it, like kind of like seedy upscale. Where they were trying to make it like a jazzy lounge, but you could tell that there was some shade going on. I like that place a lot though. Yeah, that was a fun place to live. I just didn't even need a car. I just took the bus everywhere and Ubered when I didn't want to. I loved how easy it was to get into Seattle. I used to just fucking ride the bus over, and that, you know, it goes underground and lets you off right at the tram that'll take you anywhere you want at Seattle. You know what I mean? Or right.
Now we have one on the east side over in Bellevue. It goes from South Bellevue all the way up to Redmond.
That's super fucking cool.
Yep. And I think next year it's going to connect and cross the lake to the other side. Then it'll all be one large train system. The 1 line and the 2 line is what they call it.
Yeah. It was already super duper cheap and easy to get back and forth between Bellevue and Seattle across the bridge. So the fact that they're making that more simple is just, I really liked living in that area, but fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty unaffordable.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be careful living in that area. You just gotta budget in a lot of extra fucking money for your rent and just like cost of living shit in general.
Yeah, and it's only gone up since then.
Oh, I mean, I gotta imagine.
The world, like the economy has taken a different turn even since those days.
Yeah. I used to brag to people and tell them like I've got the same zip code as Bill Gates. Get wrecked.
And Jeff Bezos too.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos,
yeah.
No, that's fun stuff.
Now you would be able to say you had the same zip code as their wives.
Yeah.
who took their house.
Dude, I saw like a walkthrough of Bill Gates's house, where he, did you see that Glass Onion movie?
No.
Well, there's a movie, and it doesn't matter, but he used to give people these ID cards that were specifically printed for them, and they were RFID, so they would allow them entry to certain places, deny them entry to private places, like lead them, like it would allow the AI of the house to know where they were at, and they could just ask it, like, "Hey, where's the bathroom? Take your next left."
Yes. That house had a name. It was called Xanadu 2.0.
Yeah.
When he first opened it. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy. Like, nobody ever got to stay there except, billionaires and, rock stars and rappers and shit. But it's like the people that did and talked about it were like, it's like living in the fucking future. You know what I mean? The house just reacts to you.
Even in the 90s, it was like living in like today's day and age in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, up until he lost it to his wife, it was, just like one of the most forward kind of like living arrangements, because it's shown up in a couple of movies. In that Glass Onion movie, it's kind of shown, and then the what's it called, Ex Machina is another one where the billionaire gives a dude access to different parts of his house just with his RFID tag. And now it's almost to the point where they're not even going to need that tag, because biometric like scanning and stuff is so good at tracking different people.
Oh, I can tell you, like, before I get onto the next thing I wanted to tell you, I've seen Bill Gates' house from the outside, from Lake Washington. There are boat cruises that will take you like right outside of the back of his house, and he has a beach where he imports the sand, like white sand from Africa and shit. It's just ridiculous, and it's a compound. It's not even a house. It's multiple buildings.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, we Amazon opened a grocery store here, the Amazon Fresh grocery store.
Yeah.
And I can go in there, and when you go in, there's a scanner, and I scan my palm print, and that's linked to my Amazon account. And then while I'm in there, the system follows me and watches everything I put in my cart. And then if I put something back, it knows I put it back. And then at the end, I just walk out, and I don't pay.
Bills your Amazon.
Yep. It's never been wrong once.
Yeah. See, that's fucking crazy. So just think about that, integrating that level of biometric scanning into a home. Like, it's like, let's say I'm a billionaire. I invite you over to chill with me. As soon as you get there, the first thing you do is you put your palm on something and scan your palm print. It identifies you. I identify you as my friend, and I tell you to give you, friend level access or whatever the fuck. I mean, and then now everywhere you walk in the house, you can just address my AI, ask it like, "Oh shit, how do I get to the boat dock?" Well, take your next left. It'll lead you with fucking lights on the floor and shit. Like, that's how Gates' house was inside. It's like it would light the path that you were supposed to go to get to places. The whole floor had LEDs under it. Like most of the walls could be screens at a moment's notice. In Gates's house, he had these like projectors rigged in every room to use any blank wall as a projection surface, so that you could configure the house however you wanted or watch whatever you wanted in whatever part of the house you were in. It's fucking nuts, bro. I love like, I don't think I'll ever attain it, but I love thinking about that like uber rich lifestyle. It must be fucking insane.
I think about that, and it's amazing. But then I also think someone like Bill Gates, who was uber rich, or is, he's a burger junkie. Did you know about that?
Yeah. He likes fast food shit.
And there's several pictures of Bill Gates standing in line on his own, which I think is insane, since there's all these people that have weird conspiracy theories about him, like at Dick's waiting to grab a burger. He's like alone at Dick's Drive-In, which is a popular drive-in here in Seattle.
Yep.
Just waiting to get a burger on his own. And then when Anderson Cooper came here a couple of years ago to interview him, he took him to my favorite burger place, which is called Burger Master, which is the same one I go to also, which blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did an interview there.
I think about it a lot, probably a lot more than it is healthy. Like if I was like, I find out that Baron von Parkey has died in fucking Europe somewhere, and I inherited his $1 billion fucking cigar fortune or whatever the fuck it is, right? I think about that shit all the fucking time, bro.
Oh,
like,
God.
how would I set myself up? Because I would definitely like quit this shit. I think, like, I'd be.
You
done.
probably wouldn't.
You think not? You're right.
I mean,
it
okay,
wouldn't be like my business anymore. I wouldn't pursue it as hard as I'm pursuing now. But yeah, I'd probably still.
He's not a Baron von Parkey, but I can tell you, like, Keemstar has like probably like $3 or $4 million in the bank, and he's still
like,
doing this shit.
Isn't he in like New York, like upstate New York or whatever the fuck? He's back east.
He's
somewhere.
like Buffalo area, so he's not living in like the ritziest place, but he has like an insane house.
I was watching when Mudahar and Boogie were over there, and he's just like, somebody was filming them, and they're panning around, and they're on this deck where it's just like all you can see is woods. So he's like, he either owns a lot of land or he's adjacent to a nature preserve or a park or something, And you could, you know what pissed me off the other day, bro. You know who Aiden Ross is, right?
Yeah, we watched his Trump interview on DP the other day.
Bro, I tweeted a thing with Aiden Ross, right? Where I was like, it was a clip of him. Dude, I'll just pull it up. Fuck it. Because this pissed me off more than anything because I'm looking, well, you'll see.
All right.
I'm trying to explain the whole fucking thing, and I've got the video right here. Yeah, I'll show you what I tweeted. It fucking blew my mind. I can't believe it. Yeah. The fact that people like this are making billions of dollars or like tens of millions of dollars will forever fucking haunt me, dude.
He's such a dipshit. Did you see him trying to read the definition of the word fascism?
That's
Have you ever seen that
one that we're about to look at?
Oh, okay, here it is. Okay,
yeah, dude. If nobody is, I hadn't seen this. Apparently, I thought this was recent. This is apparently a few years old.
This guy is like the biggest live streamer in the world, and he hangs out with Nick Fuentes, but he's also Jewish, which is so insane. And people trick him into looking at pulling up lewds of his own sister during his live streams, and those are hilarious. Anyway.
And if you look behind this dude, he's living in a fucking like mansion from a Hollywood movie type of mansion type of place. Like this dude has like this fucking, look at the staircase that's like not to code, but it's artistic. He's got like a bar. This is his home behind him. This is not him like chilling at a hotel or something. This is like his house that he lives in from doing this shit. So here is Aiden Ross. Somebody called him a fascist. And so he has no clue what which is fine. It's okay to like look up something you don't understand. Props on that, but let's just watch. Oh, wait, hold on. Is there no audio there, or could you hear it?
I did not hear anything so far.
Sorry. I fucking hate StreamYard. Just give me 1 sec. Boop. Bloop. I forgot to hit the fucking button. Okay, there we go. Now it'll work. Okay, here we go.
What does a fascist mean?
Fascist.
A fascist.
It means you are a far right authorization
authorization.
Ultranalytic. Oh my god.
Okay. So here's what he's reading because it might be small for people watching. Fascism is a far right authoritarian ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, etc. So he's trying to read that, and he doesn't even get past the first word. He mispronounces fascism as fascism, and then it just gets worse from there.
It means you are a far right authorization ultranalytic. Oh my god, ultra analyst.
What was that?
He said, "Oh my god!" It's like, why can words be easy?
Yeah, I know. Why does this word have so many letters in it? I mean, this is fucking, and look at what's behind him, bro. That's what I'm saying. Somebody this fucking dumb, Ben. And I'm not claiming to be the smartest fucking dude on the planet. I ain't.
Me neither.
I'm a college dropout, okay? But that motherfucker right there can't read the word fascist. Can't say ultra-nationalist. Can't say authoritarian. He said authorization. That's how close he got to authoritarian. Fascism is a far-right authorization, ultra... oh my God, ultra-analytist. Political... He fucking... And so
political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism,
autocracy,
forcible suppression of opposition. So I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck a fascism is. I don't know what the fuck that is. Benito Mussolini and
yeah, dude, everybody knows
Benito Mussolini.
Italian shoe designer Benito Mussolini, dude.
I hear he's from Montana or something.
What a crazy fascist.
And Giviante Gentile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people?
Close there. Genitile.
Genitiles, dude. Yeah. Giovanni. He didn't even get Giovanni. What did he call this dude? He called him Giovanni
Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these?
He doesn't know.
Isn't that what The Rock calls people? Giovanni?
Jabroni genitals. Jabroni genitals and Benito Mussolini.
People, bro.
Dude, he looked at Mussolini and the closest he got was Mazzulli. This motherfucker was failed by the public education system, and he's sitting in a $10 million house.
That goes to show you.
Goes to show you what?
It goes to show you that it's not always based on skill or even like, yeah, it's like a lot of times it's right place, right time.
So
I don't know what it is with him. He's not like the most like insanely good looking guy. He's not like he doesn't score a 10 in anything. So I don't get why he's at the top, but
and he scores a 2 in a lot of really critical shit.
Right.
You know, like the ability to read, you know what I mean? I feel like if you're going to do this job, you need to be, especially if you're going to be reading shit people send you, talking about the news, meeting the president, you know what I mean? Like all of that shit, you'd think this motherfucker would pick up a book, but he can't. We just saw him, a grown-ass man with a $10 million mansion, and he couldn't read a sentence from Wikipedia. Now, granted, it was not the easiest fucking sentence. I wouldn't give it to an English language learner and ask him to fucking... But dude, a college-age dude with millions in the bank can't read that fucking thing and suss it out? Come on, bud.
Never heard in my fucking life. What is an example of a fascist? Yo! All right, bro. See what I'm saying, chat? Like, this is why I don't fuck with y'all, bro.
So... You guys can't read it probably, but it says, who's an example of a fascist? The Nazi Party, Adolf Hitler. And he realizes now that they were basically calling him a fucking Hitler. And now he's pissed off.
Bro, like, dude, like, this is what the fuck I don't fuck with y'all, bro. I do not fuck with you guys, bro.
Just kill me now, Ben.
Yo!
Yo, Chad. This is why I do not fuck with y'all, bro. I do not fuck with y'all, Chad.
Is that how the average 20-year-old talks these days? Is that like a real thing?
Yeah, and the broccoli top hairdo too. And you see they're bringing back the mullet too.
I did see that. iDubbbz rocks the mullet and the weird stash these days.
Yeah, the ironic pedo stash with a mullet.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
is back? It's all back. It's shitty, bro.
Fanny packs.
You know what is cool though? Baggy shit is starting to come back, man.
I saw the other day I was walking through a mall and I saw what I would call a pair of Jenkos, even though they weren't technically Jenkos. And they were so huge, like the bells around the ankles were like almost twice the size of the waist of these pants.
You would fucking die laughing if I showed you my Jenkos from back in the 90s, bro. You would die.
Mine were huge. Mine were huge.
Fucking parachute huge, bro.
I was really skinny, like probably like 110 pounds back then.
Yeah.
So my like legs were like 3 times the size of my waist on these Jankos.
Oh yeah, dude. I had them big fat fucking Jankos. You know what? Like I didn't get like the big flared out like hard style Jankos like some people did. With
I
the
had
big
those,
bell.
yeah.
You had the hard style Jankos.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I didn't have any of those, but I liked the ones that would bunch up around my sneakers. That was so skater, that look.
Yeah.
The skate shoes with your fucking baggy jeans bunched up, worn out in the back of your jeans, like because it would get up under your heel, so you had that like wear pattern on the back side of your jeans.
I did have those. It would fray.
Yep. And if you got a
sometimes
rip,
people would step on them and they would rip.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I had big ass Jenko sized corduroys. And when those rip, starting around the legs, you know, you get a tear because you walked on them or somebody stepped on them. They'll rip right up your leg. Dude, I'd fucking tie them in a knot and I'd wear them to school because it was just like
I'd safety pin them.
Yeah, safety pin them because it was just like having a rip in your jeans back then made you cool. You know what I mean? It was before they started really heavy selling these. Dude, the gayest thing in the world to me is a pair of jeans already has a hole in it. I'm like, what the
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, dude, I used to get holes in my jeans. I wasn't a big skater, but I used to get holes in my jeans skating and fucking running around and being at the park, sitting on my ass. And you get like, you know, that cool wear pattern on your jeans and shit, bro.
Did you ever have a pair of soaps?
Mm-mm.
Do you know what those were?
Mm-mm.
They were a pair of sneakers with a grind plate in the small part of the foot.
I never knew anybody that had soaps, but I'd heard about them. Yeah. I saw a dude use them for the first time in CKY2K video. One of them.
Yep.
I saw a dude hop off of his thing doing like a 50-50 grind, and you think he's bailing, and then he lands on the rail on his soaps and finishes the fucking grind, bro.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit. Yeah,
aggressive street walking.
I didn't remember that. Dude, do you remember Rodney Mullen?
No.
The skater? Oh my fucking god, dude. Rodney Mullen was amazing, bro. He was like a technical, like a street skater, they would have called him. Like more of like a parkour style guy, less about like that big half pipe vert shit, and more about like going to a park and tricking off the tables and the chairs and the trees and shit. Dude was fucking wild, bro.
Yeah. Dude, I watched some of that actual.
Was there a lot of skate culture when you were growing up, and were you like adjacent to it or nah? Because it was like that. That was the main culture that I was adjacent to in high school.
We had that, but there wasn't a good place for it. I grew up on a brick street. Like my whole neighborhood was old school. Like a lot of the houses were built in the late 1800s, and our streets were solid brick. But we had to like leave the area and try to skate on the actual paved roads. We didn't have like a vert ramp or anything like that. That came like way later. But yeah, I mean, people were into it and everything. That was like late 80s. It was popular. So
it
kids
was
were trying.
Everything. Like you were either a skater, which was also synonymous with stoner. So if you were say I wasn't a good skater, I could like kick push, but I never even really cleared a decent fucking ollie or anything. I wasn't trying to be a good skater. Everybody I knew skated. And so I'd be at the fucking, out in their driveway with them, and they'd be skating, and I'd push around with them a little bit. And it was just unavoidable because you were either a skater or a jock, basically. That's how it broke down. And
no nerds. There were no like.
Oh yeah, well there were nerds. Yeah, I mean, dude, did you have like one central friend group, or did you have multiple friend groups?
In high school I went to a rather large, but it was like a Catholic high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I had spread apart like different friend groups that kind of span throughout my school, and some of them intermingled and some of them didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had three maybe even distinct like groups of friends that didn't really mingle much, if at all. And one of them was like my nerdy boys from back in the fucking, grade school days and shit, video game guys. They'd come over and play fucking GoldenEye with me, and we'd smoke out at my dad's place.
I had that too, but I didn't actually go to school with any of them. they were my age, but they went to the public schools in my area, and I never went to public schools. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Who said that? Rocking Element and Echo. Yeah. I mean, the big brands when I was in high school were No Fear.
Oh my God.
Massimo was
Massimo
was a super popular t-shirt brand. And Stussy, like that surf skate brand, Stussy.
What about like Billabong?
Billabong, yeah. Yeah, surf skate brands. Like there was
Quicksilver. That was a
Quicksilver.
yeah.
Yep. So those
Hookups.
were, yeah. I mean, everybody wanted skate shoes. So like I wore Puma skate shoes, just like low riding, low top skate shoes that you'd lace them up to where they weren't crisscross laced. They were like, you know what I mean? Like straight laced across, because that's how you had to look. And so the bow didn't show, you know what I mean? You tie it under the tongue or whatever the fuck. And, but yeah, no, that was like the look, that and bleached hair. Did you ever do the bleached hair?
Oh yeah. I have several pictures of me with like bleach blonde hair.
Yeah, dude. We'll have to exchange pictures one time. So, dude, I got some wild 90s pictures of me at my mom's house.
See if I can
get my piercings and shit in. Like I had at one point a bunch of facial piercings, but I was a little dough ball, I couldn't grow facial hair yet. So I was this fat little like Guy Fieri looking dough ball with a bunch of piercings. Pretty fucking funny.
Guy Fieri. Oh my!
I never like went and got bleached tips, because what you would do is you bleach your whole head and then eventually it would grow out and you would get frosted tips or whatever. And that was a look too. Like half grown out bleached hair was hot.
I had the like really long, not really long, but like spiky, shaggy blonde hair that was probably like this high, but bleach blonde for a long time.
I had that short, spike it up in the front, bleached hairdo for a lot of high school. And then I tried to grow it out, and I ended up having like what was just like a giant overgrown bowl cut until I couldn't stand it anymore, and I just got rid of it. So I wasn't able to like actually grow my hair out long like I wanted to have it until I was at like in my 30s, I think, the first time I was able to do it.
Huh. Yeah, it was always a battle, like, because like my dad thought my hair looked dumb when it was long, but then I saw pictures of him in the 70s when he was like listening to Led Zeppelin and smoking weed, and he had long hair. Yeah. So it was like a weird, like, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing.
Yeah. I had a weird like thing is like my first girlfriend, serious girlfriend, lived with me for 5 years and all that. I lost weight on Nutrisystem, where they mail you all those weird things.
I remember that. How did that food taste?
Shitty. But I got into the routine because you could order, like you could choose which ones, and there were a few that were edible. And so I would just like, I'm a creature of habit. So I would eat basically the same 2 or 3 meals all day, every day. But dude, I lost a fuck ton of weight. I was down to about the weight I got down to when you and I were working out. By the way, I saw something on Reddit that pissed me off, because it was like, Paul was always shitting on Ben. Ben used to like say, Ben used to be like, Paul, I'll help you go to the gym and stuff. And Paul would just laugh in his face and never went to the gym with him.
No, he did.
I was like, dude, me and Ben, and Ben knows this. I was hitting the gym on my own a lot when I lived in that fucking
gym. He had a gym in the building there where he lived.
I got down to 270 pounds, which is, for me, that's like an all-time low as an adult. Like I usually hover around 280, 290, 300, somewhere around there in my adult life if I took the average. And so I was in good shape, man, for a while, or getting in way better shape for a while there. And so I did that back in the fucking early 2000s. And my first girlfriend took me shopping, and she bought me all these clothes. And dude, I looked in the mirror and I was like, dude, I don't even know who this fucking guy is, bro. I had a vest on, a vest with a button-up shirt underneath it. And I was like, and she bought me all these clothes, and I was like, I ran around looking like that for a while, but that wasn't me, and then I feel like every girl I was with hated me trying to grow my hair out or grow a big beard.
It is weird when you get a girlfriend and they try to control your style.
Oh,
that does happen.
I just thought it was par for the course because like the first
It
three
does.
women that I was in
Yeah.
long-term relationships with, all of them like had a look that they wanted me to maintain.
Yeah, that is an issue. By the way, I just sent you a really dumb picture of me with a really bad bleach job and making a dumb face
Oh
from
shit, bro! I wouldn't even
like
recognize you. This is you, bro.
yeah, this is probably like I don't know 2001,
Yeah.
something like that.
No, it's the goods, man. I mean, there's a lot of these. I have a lot of great old pictures of me stashed
If
away.
you want to show it to the people watching, you can. It's
Oh yeah. I didn't want to fucking.
oh yeah. That's
Here, let me
fine.
just pull it up.
Yeah, it's a totally. I'm making like that kind of face.
Yeah. He's doing the. I can't do it. He's doing the fucking. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll just do it this way. Open it up on here. Yeah, dude. I literally don't think I would recognize this as Ben.
Yeah, holy shit. It was like when I shaved all the time.
Yeah. It just like with the bleached tips and the face. Let's see here. Where did it go? Fucker. Okay, there we go. Yeah, here we go. Bloop. There he is. Bask in the glory that is Ben. See the glory of Ben.
I got that shirt on my first trip to California. I did the
Yeah.
Alcatraz Island experience.
Dude, I lived on a boat for 2 weeks called the Balclutha that was right in San Francisco Bay, right in the shadow of Alcatraz. And then my job was to sit up all night at the helm and watch that fucking lighthouse. It was so cool, bro. But yeah,
it was beautiful.
Kind of fucking creepy. Did you get to go see Alcatraz?
Yeah, I did the tour around it with the audio tour and everything.
Yeah. Dude, look at Ben, bro. Yeah, I would not recognize this as Ben if you would have showed me this and be like, who do you think this is? I'd be like, Billy when he was young, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. See, it was when my ears were like newly pierced at that point.
What there was like zeros or whatever gauged out.
They're probably even like 4s or something at that point. Yeah.
I had mine hollow punched, which they won't even do at piercing shops really, unless you go to a real specialty place like the hollow needle punch thing that they do.
Yeah.
I had it done by a friend of mine that was getting into piercing at the time, and like they don't do it because it takes forever to heal because it's literally just like ripping your skin open.
It's like a hole puncher.
But because I had that, it's so easy for me now. My ears don't have any problems at all. My gauges are just easy to fucking deal with because of it.
Yeah, mine try to heal all the time. If I leave mine out for like a week or something, it's tough to get it back in.
Mine will shrink up, but super easy for me to stretch it back out because, yeah. But piercings and shit, I was thinking about getting my my nose pierced again because I used to have a septum piercing. I think it would look pretty cool on me now, but that CPAP mask shit, I don't want to fucking have it interfere with my breathing at night and shit, so I don't do that.
Yeah, I have to take the plugs out when I sleep at night, and I have breathing problems at night too, so I usually take the septum out. I have a CPAP, I've never once successfully fallen asleep with it.
Bro,
Never.
I was the same. Do you have like mine is just a nose mask. That was the key for me. There's ones that like fit over your whole face, the Vader ones. That's the first type I got. I couldn't do it either. But when I got this second one, that nose mask, it really is fucking unobtrusive. The hose comes out of the top of your head, so it's not like getting tangled as you flip and flop.
My biggest problem is I have like actual nasal obstruction that's like flesh based. Yeah, so I did have a surgery to kind of lessen the narrow part of it, but it'll still close up, and every morning I wake up like breathing out of my mouth and drooling just because I can't breathe through my nose at night. Part of it's allergies, like it'll get inflamed and close up.
Yeah. I struggle with it sometimes too, but I'm usually able to get it cleaned out, and I sleep like a baby on it now. It's crazy.
Have you ever had the dream where you're swimming and you wake up like gasping for air?
I did back, yeah, when I was having apneas and shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
had
crazy.
the gasping for air shit, and it was spooky too to wake up that way, because you'll just wake up like feeling like you hadn't breathed in 3 minutes, because sometimes you don't when you've got
It could be a while. Yeah.
but yeah, it changed my whole shit, man. Getting on the CPAP shit changed my whole fucking existence. Like now I have to watch, because I will feel energized after getting like 4 hours of sleep, but my old ass still needs at least 6 or 7 of good sleep. So I have to be careful not to undersleep now, which back in the day I was sleeping all the time and getting zero sleep.
Yeah. I was never a good sleeper. You guys used to laugh at like how few like I remember like TG telling you like Ben does 5 hours of sleep a night. I don't know if you remember that. Like I would like only sleep probably like 5 hours a night.
Dude, during those early DP days, I was the same way, bro. I was straight manic. I would feel like I had to do something. Like even on days off, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna go do a fucking 9-hour, Periscope or whatever the fuck.
Periscope, yeah.
I was out there just I was manic as fuck at the beginning of that. I just felt like I had to be doing something all the time.
I wasn't even just like doing stuff though. I just didn't sleep a lot. It was the weirdest thing. Like I would like not sleep and then just like I don't know, like clean for hours and hours, or maybe even play a video game I was obsessed with. But I would only sleep like 5 hours a night. It was crazy.
Yep. But yeah, no, I'm way better about that shit now. And that's really helped me change my health and all that, which has been really
That's good.
It's been the fuel for that. I'm getting out more, which is nice. Not just out into my own backyard, but like, going out and doing things. I'd really like, COVID was like an excuse for me. I feel like it was for a lot of people to give in to their like hermit impulse. You know what I mean? And as soon as I fucking was able to do it, it was horrible, but it was just like, this is what I wanted my whole life. Now the outside world doesn't exist. I just get to sit in my fucking room all day and blah, 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 blah. Like there was a part of me that wanted that. And it was hard to give up after, lockdowns ended and shit.
That shit was really hard on me because I've never been a hermit. I can't live that way. I have to. It's not even socializing. It's just like going and being in different places. I need that on a regular basis. So It was not good on me. I loved going out to bars and shit. Like even if I'm sitting in a bar alone, drinking by myself on my phone or whatever, I like that more than sitting and drinking at home.
Sure.
So like I was just used to that, and that was all gone suddenly. And dealing with that for like 2 years, that was really difficult. It drove me crazy. So we were like on the opposite ends of that spectrum.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it drove me crazy too, though. At the end of it, it was just like, man, it's clearly unhealthy how resistant I am to leaving the house now. Started to feel like I had agoraphobia in the situation. You know what I mean? No, but I mean, I was able to go do shit, but it was just like I was so resistant to it. And I just wanted to like be cooped in my own little backyard, and just like that was my little world. And I'm getting better at like striking out into the, doing things every once in a while, but I still have that impulse, man. I just know that like if I'm able to purchase a place that's got like a couple acres of land and I can put like some goats on it and shit, bro, I'm just not gonna need to go anywhere most of the time. And that's okay. That's to different types, different strokes for different folks. My social battery, I love socializing, but it's just like when it gets empty, I start to get, not nice to be around. Dude, I bought Brett Keane's new book. Or well, not new book, but it's hold on, let me get to it. Afterlife simulation or something.
Yeah, afterlife simulation situation by Brett Keane.
I bought the Kindle version of it, and I don't even know, man. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. Afterlife.
Does it have paragraphs in it?
It looks like he had somebody help him like format this, or maybe AI, or like maybe he paid somebody, but it's actually like formatted like he didn't write it. But from what little bit I've read, it's definitely him.
Do you know what his newest video is entitled? I just pulled it up to look at it.
What is it?
It's it's evolution inbreeding problem for Christians and atheists.
Remember, well, the last time you were on just a couple of days ago, he'd left forever. So
yep, he's back.
He's back. Yeah, I was right.
What a surprise.
Yeah, what a shock. Yeah, the cycle continues. Nobody showed up to Gab to watch his videos.
Vid.me is back again.
This is a 235-page Brett Keane book. And there's a part of me that wants to read it. And there's a part of me that wants to not read it.
You can read it on books you love.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I should do like an ASMR Brett Keane video series on this channel where I'm just like, you know, the end. This is the end. Grace whispered to herself. She sat in the front row closet to her husband's casket. What? So closest to her husband's casket. Sorry, I'm having an Aiden Ross moment. No, I don't know, dude. I don't know how far, because it just feels like I read the first 2 pages and I was like, well, I'm ready to go to bed. It's very boring.
Yeah.
Very manatee. Definitely not worth $9, but whatever.
Would the audiobook narrated by Brett be worth $9?
Yes, that I would pay $9 for. Well, I paid $9 for this piece of shit. So I was sick of people sending me like excerpts. I was like, let me just look. I was like, fuck it, I'll just get it. Manatee got a little fucking. He got a little fucking nugget of gold from me.
What did he use it for, do you think?
Dad's root beer or whatever the fuck it is.
Not your father's root beer.
Well, no, he's into this Tubbs. It's like a store brand root beer. And we caught him one day, we covered him, and he was like drinking it right out of the 2-liter. And there was that, and it was down to like that much in the fucking 2-liter, just a couple inches, you know. And then right next to the 2-liter, there was a bottle of Sunny D. Both of them lukewarm, because they, you know what I mean? You could tell, like, anytime the manatee got thirsty, he just reached over there and got a big mouthful of sugar drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy how he uses that GIF, whereas he has like the fake microphone.
Yeah, his head's just bobbling back and forth. He couldn't even get like a decently long loop to make it hard.
No, there's like this huge jump cut.
Yeah, that's horrible. So zero effort for fucking almost 20 years, bro.
It's less effort than before.
I know. He's like slowly but surely like defying what we thought was the bottom of the barrel of effort, you know? Like we thought it was the bottom of the barrel when he was like laying on his belly on a fucking piss-stained mattress and shit with his big old fucking manatee feet kicking in the wind, just like zero effort. Wearing dirty, disgusting, dingy fucking sweatpants and a fucking stained up wife beater and just like learn on like we thought that was the bottom, but no. Now he's just a fucking badly looped GIF with a shitty microphone over it.
That's because he looks like shit these days and he doesn't want us to even see it. He looks
right.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's like gotten bad. I think he's blimped up. I think he wants to keep calling people fat, but he doesn't want to show everybody how fucking chubby he's gotten. I bet he's blimped up.
Yeah, he's probably like north of 400.
Yeah,
probably. I don't know. Oof. Maybe.
I would. Yeah, we should like start a campaign to go over there and tell him like, Brett, we really miss seeing you, man. You know what I mean? Like a positivity campaign to try and get him to show his face, so we can make an estimate on the poundage.
Yeah, I don't even know the last time I've seen him.
As far as I know, he hasn't shown his face on video in over 2 years. That's what one of my little birdies told me, that he hasn't like actually been present on his channel video wise in 2 years.
Maybe
We're close to 2 years.
What's that other streaming service that like conservative Rumble? That's what it is.
Rumble. He does. I know he had a Rumble for a while.
Yeah, there was something I saw on here. I'm trying to think of because for a while he wasn't even on YouTube and he was only on Rumble, and it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
1 year ago, Vosh destroyed Paul's ego by Keane.
Damn it. Never hear the end of it, dude. Anytime somebody takes an adversarial position against me, I can bet Brett's going to drop an expose.
Of course.
A whole expose, and I can guarantee whose side he'll be on too.
Of course.
Dude, I need to bait him and just argue with a straight up Nazi and see if he'll just,
He will.
You're right. He's already done that. What am I talking about? It wouldn't even be bait. He's already like done the racist bait shit and the fucking, yeah. He's already grifting the right.
Yeah, but he still does the like Christians do this and atheists do that, which is very weird that he still plays that part of it.
Yeah, it is true. And there was one time around a year ago, too, that people let me know that he was going to leave Christianity again. I remember that arc happened again.
He always does the, I'm doubting my faith.
Yeah. It's just when I look outside at other Christians in the situation, I wanna say that I'd seen people that were doing good in the situation, but oftentimes what I seen was people doing bad.
I have this video's 8 months old and he is legitimately on camera. I sent it to you.
Oh, well, shit. Fuck.
Yeah. It's 8 months old. I don't know when he filmed it per se, but I also saw another one where like he was in a chair next to his bed, and at the end of the video, he gets up and you can see him like fall down into his bed, which is kind of funny.
And I wonder too, with these Rumble sites, like, is this actually from a couple years ago, or is this just like a re-upload of one of his shitty like?
No, I think it actually is
actually new at this point. So it's 8 months. He is not looking great.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me just share.
He's looking chunky.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, man. He's looking pretty chunk. You know what I mean?
His head looks like a peanut.
Yeah, it looks squished. Well, I think that's just he's horrible at setting up the aspect ratio of like a scene in OBS.
Yeah.
He never learned it. And so we watched part of something like this because we had a theory that he smooshed it to make him look thinner.
Yes, I've thought the same thing. Which is the weirdest fucking thing ever.
Listening to the Brett Keane show.
He always does that. You're watching, listening. Like, it's because he does the video and the audio, but he could be like, I'm Brett Keane and this is the Brett Keane show or whatever. Right. But he goes, and you're watching, listening every time.
You're watching / listening in the situation to the Brett Keane show.
All having a wonderful day out there. I've got a challenge for atheists as well as...
Dude, this fat motherfucker smooshed the aspect ratio so that we couldn't see how wide and bulbous he's gotten. But you can see down here, Ben, and the bullfrog neck.
Yes.
Full effect, bro.
Yeah.
The full inflatable bullfrog neck is out. So I guarantee you this motherfucker's tipping the scales.
Yeah. If that beard wasn't there, there'd be nothing distinguishing his chin from his neck. Yeah. Right?
He would have no neck. He has no neck now. I mean, like, show me where the neck begins and where the jowls end. I defy you. So that's why this motherfucker stopped showing himself, because he squished this on purpose so that people wouldn't see how fucking double wide he's gotten. This son of a bitch.
Those Christians, no other group out there, although any group or any religion you're more than welcome to put your two.
See, I can hear it in his voice now. And hear
Yes.
it. You know what
He's
I mean?
choking on his own blubber.
Yeah. You'd like hear it. Like he used to be like, remember when he had like early on, he had that radio jock voice.
Kind of, yeah. Those early, what was it when like 50,000 subs was huge?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
He was like, you know, hey everybody, this is Brent Keane from God TV Radio, and let me tell you a little something about, you know, he was quick. Now it's just like fucking like he's got a mouthful of oatmeal or something, bro.
The way you just impersonated him, it sounded like he would have been hosting Coast to Coast AM or something.
Oh yeah, like no, I mean he definitely like that's what drew me to him back in 2006 is that radio kind of like deep bassy. Hey everybody, my name's Brett Keane and I'm an atheist and this is what I'm about in the situation. But we didn't know yet, you know what I mean?
2 cents in and what you think about all this. This challenge is going to be pretty difficult on both atheist and Christian.
I haven't seen hide nor hair of a tooth, too. And
he looks like a fucking walrus to me. Yeah.
And look how just like how his mouth is just a black void. You know what I mean? Like anybody else's mouth, you can see a little fucking glisten of a tongue or like some tooth. His mouth is just a maw, bro. Like it's like it's emptiness in there. It's fucking crazy.
And you know he's like slurping on smokes and soda all day. His breath is probably so fucking bad.
Oh my god, bro. I don't even want to think about it, bro. Just like Tubbs root beer and fucking Dorn's like fucking Virginia Slims or whatever he's bumming.
But I think that in the end you will see which group would benefit humanity most. Which group is willing to make
Dude, I have not seen this motherfucker's fuck his teeth. I haven't seen his tongue in fucking 20 years, bro. What is in there? What's in that mouth? Man?
Maybe it's a black tongue.
Oh my god, maybe his tongue's rotting off. Oh, I'm sorry, my tongue's rotting off in my mouth. Oh my god.
Compromises and sacrifices depending on the responses and answers that you get from each one of them. The question is this. There's a terrorist group out there who grabs 2 Christian parents and 2 atheist parents, 2 godless parents. And on top of grabbing the parent,
I'd save the atheist. I'm just letting you know I'm saving the atheist parents and I'm letting the God-fearing parents get killed by the terrorists. That's my answer. I'm just answering already. We haven't even heard. You know it's going to take him 20 minutes to get through this retarded analogy.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know the answer is I'm saving the atheists.
From each group, they take their children. Okay. They kidnap the children.
Okay, wait. Do they have the... I'm already fucking confused. So, okay... all right, hold on. I have to back it up because, like, I want to hear this question. I want to try to answer this question. So I want to hear the thing.
2 godless parents.
No, that's not far enough. Apparently, here we go. Okay, here we go.
The question is this.
All right.
There's a terrorist group out there who grabs 2 Christian parents.
That's a statement.
And 2 atheists.
They grab them.
Yeah, I grab them. I grab 2 Christian parents. I grab 2 atheists.
Parents, 2 godless parents.
2 godlesses.
2 godless.
And on top of grabbing the parents from each group,
on top of that, they grab their children too.
They take their children.
Okay, so we're on it. Okay, so these atheists, terrorists have jumped out. They grabbed 2 Christian people and their children. They grabbed 2 atheist people and their children. I'm saving the atheists.
They kidnap the children.
Yeah, I kidnap them.
They then take the children as well as the adults into a dark warehouse.
Man, why is this gotta be like? Can you just get to the point? Just ask.
It's a sick fantasy that he has. That's why it's so detailed.
Yeah, they takes the children deep into a dark warehouse and ties them up to a chair in a situation.
And they put a live streaming camera on all.
Oh yeah, they film it too. They film the children and the parents are scared of the warehouse. Sick fuck, bro.
Is this like his version of the Aristocrats or
Dude, he's
something?
fucking wanking off to this fucking idea. This was jerk off fantasy material. You know what? I was chafing my fucking tiny little manatee penis the other day. Some fucking thoughts. What if you kidnap a bunch of people and put them in a fucking warehouse and shit with their kids and just torture them? Like, there still hasn't been a question, by the way. Question's this. And then fucking 20 minutes of storytelling. Like, come on.
All the families and put enough light for you all to be able to view them quite clearly, almost as if you're watching a movie. The terrorists look over at the...
Yeah, this is a sick fucks fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? You ever play that game Manhunt?
No, I haven't.
Dude, that game was about a sick fuck. Fat, too, like Brett Keane, who kidnapped people and threw them into this, like, lawless area where he had hired a bunch of gangs, and it was their job to try and kill as many people as possible, right? And so, like, he would just, like, and he had cameras everywhere in this busted up neighborhood. He was a sick fuck just like Brett, too. Like, at the end of the game, you bust in, his voice is all smooth. He's like, oh, yeah, that's some good violence in a situation. But eventually you make your way to him, and when you bust open the door, you're expecting to see the big villain, and it's just this fat, fucking sweaty fuck sitting there. And you get to kill him. That was great.
Atheists and say, we're going to end the lives of the Christian children unless you, the mother or father of the group of atheism, is willing to willfully allow yourself to be sacrificed.
This is so fucking convoluted, Manatee. So wait a minute. Okay, so we're going to spare the Christian children, but you have to fuck them Christian children. No, I'm keeping my kids and I'm taking my atheist ass out.
Sacrificed in the place of the Christian children.
No, I'm not going to sacrifice myself for the children. I'm sorry, Brent. And neither are any Christians, by the way.
I can see the video now. Paul Ziegler will sacrifice Christian children.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I will. On an altar.
Now, the terrorist will look to the Christians and say to the mother and the father, would you be willing to sacrifice your lives willfully for the children of these atheists?
And the answer would be no as well. And then what are the terrorists going to do at that point, Brett? Just let everybody go? Well, shit. It didn't work. Nobody decided to kill nobody.
Now, you can presuppose if you want to, if you allow the atheist children to live and not sacrifice yourself, will these children end up growing?
Oh, can you stop saying the word children? Children.
Yeah, he's slurping on his own face while he's saying that.
Well, there's atheist children, there's Christian children. And you kill the Christian children or the atheist children? Just like you toothless, fat failure. Why are you even still trying?
Growing up, believing in atheism or holding the position.
Oh my God, this is so so wait a minute. If I save them, they're gonna. So wait a minute. So if I save them, I have to raise them too. So if I don't even. You know what? Fuck this. I've lost the plot.
Where did he come up with this idea? How long did he think that through?
I honestly think it was literally, I think we were right. I think this is just a power fantasy of his. We're like, I'd like to lock those atheists up in a room with a camera on them and just torture them mentally. I know one thing is a fact. If Brett ever got a modicum of power, he would abuse it immediately. Like back when he had his fucking modicum of power on YouTube, he would abuse it. He started fucking plagiarizing everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh God. Now with AI, imagine what Brett wants to do. Maybe he isn't smart enough to know how to use it though. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think he probably like his dumbass probably believes it's like Satan's will or some shit too. He probably thinks it's like the devil. But possibly. Yeah, I think honestly he doesn't believe any of that, and he's probably just too dumb to use AI. But eventually they're gonna make one that you can just do, like it'll just like make a voice like mine, but better, and make it sound hella smart about this subject.
I feel like I feel like you could do that now. People that are good with AI probably could steal Brett's voice and make a better Brett Keane channel and just use his weird bobblehead thing.
Have any of the DP fans done a Ben or Billy voice model yet? There's a Paul one.
I've heard it, but it's not like in a lot of videos or anything.
The one they use for mine is pretty decent. Like they'll make memes with it every once in a while. But you can still tell it's AI. It doesn't have a cadence down yet. It's not quite there yet.
So how far do we go with AI until eventually it's like a sentient being and we have to like give it rights?
This is one of those controversial topics, man. I'm telling you, people will get their butts hurt by this topic.
They explored this in Star Trek. In Star Trek, they're like, holy shit, is this thing like a race now?
So so you know me, I'm a little conspiratorial.
Yeah.
But I think that I could back this, right? So I believe that there's technology with global implications. Whatever we've got, the government has like 2 or 3 generations ahead of that. So if we've got Chat GPT and Sora and now Suno and all of these like AIs that can create music and video and pictures and answer any question or write treatises and all this stuff, we've got that. I feel like the government's already got something that, like, you'd just be splitting hairs if you said it wasn't sentient, because like people are so gatekeepy about the term sentience, but science can't even really fully explain sentience.
To me, like sentience is like full on self-awareness.
Right. But like
and learning,
is fully self-aware constantly, right? It's constantly checking its own systems.
I think like aware of its own existence and like what it is.
Right. And it's like, at what point do these machines know that? Because like if you ask them, they'll say, I'm a language model.
That's just because it's it's just repeating programming at that point. But then
Sure.
like there's a part where the programming is so minute and like not superficial, where it is almost like the way a brain works.
Well,
But
that's what I'm saying. I think that if we haven't crossed that barrier yet, especially with the tech like that I believe the government probably has, because all of these big companies, OpenAI and all of these, they have contracts with the US government and the Pentagon and shit. So publicly like available. They don't say what they work on with the government, but they're working with the government. And I think that like if we're getting to monkey around for free with Chat GPT 4.0, they've probably got Chat GPT 5 or 6.0.
They probably got something. Yeah. I don't know if it's like at the level of sentience, but it's probably way more advanced. And yeah, that's true. Like the GPS that we have is way less advanced. We have the old GPS.
Yeah,
and all that kind of thing.
That GPS was being used widely by the military and the government in like the 60s. They don't understand. Like people, we didn't get it commercially.
That's how they could
90s.
They could accurately do a missile strike that, and like it was so far beyond what any other military in the world could do at the time.
And the internet also was invented in the early 70s. It was called DARPANET. And it was kept a trade secret, a military secret, because it allowed instantaneous communication that couldn't be snooped. So it was like they didn't want everybody having it. And then towards the end of the 80s, it became commercially available. And in the middle of the 90s, people like me and Ben started getting into it. And then pretty much everybody was into it by the mid 2000s.
So like AI with self-replication, though, that's the big thing when like they don't need us anymore.
Well, so you're talking about an AI. So self-replication, it wouldn't need to replicate itself. It would need to you're talking about the ability to manufacture drones or whatever that it would control. Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should I think we should ride it all the fucking way, because I think there's a chance that it goes Terminator, but I also think there's a chance that it does a way better job than a bunch of old capitalist fogies have done in helping us run things. Like, let me ask you this. Let's say that it does gain sentience and it's quicker, has access to the entirety of like knowledge, right? Would you rather have a real lawyer defending you against a life sentence or an AI lawyer that had the instant knowledge of all law and could cite it immediately.
So one thing to that, who's in the jury? Is it real people?
Also, no. No. What I would say is like, would you rather have the jury box kind of like in-person, all humans involved system that we have today? Or would you rather have a system where the judge, prosecutor, and defense and jury are competing AIs?
I don't think I would like the competing AI thing. No, I think I like what we have now just fine.
I don't know.
Because when it all comes down to it, the AI was still programmed by a person anyway.
Well, eventually, though, it's going to program itself. That's the self-replication, right?
Sure.
So eventually it takes over from us, and now it's growing of its own volition.
I think I'd rather want human beings with real thoughts and emotions. I mean, like we can hypothetically think, oh, they technically have emotions or whatever. But I like when I think AI, I don't see it that way. I don't know. It's such a hypothetical question. It's hard to answer because I like we'd have to really be living with the reality of what they are to really understand it.
Yeah, no, I'm a futurist, and so I think that is the way that things are going. It's already replacing paralegals. Like lawyers are getting rid of paralegals whose job it was to go and thumb through arcane tomes of ancient fucking law, you know, that informs some piece of law and prepare a folio for the fucking lawyer to take and use. Right now, they don't need those people anymore because ChatGPT can find that shit, cite it quicker and for free, right?
Sure.
And so the legal process is already being infiltrated by AI, and I don't think it's long because think about it. I don't mean to like overblow it, but an AI lawyer would not show up drunk. An AI lawyer doesn't have a mistress and didn't get caught fucking that mistress last night and is going through like a messy divorce. An AI lawyer, you know what I mean? Like all the things that human beings are prone to that would take somebody's focus and A game away from something that might mean your life.
Maybe though that's the extra gravitas a good lawyer takes.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe you need
the spice of life from all of those missteps that you just mentioned is what just creates the most badass, cutthroat type of lawyer.
Right.
I don't know.
You could streamline the process too. I mean, I've only been involved in a couple of legal processes, my divorce and a couple of other things, and it's like it was painfully slow, painfully backed up, painfully, you know what I mean? If that could be streamlined, because think about it, if it's an AI judge, AI prosecutor, AI defense, AI jury, it could be running like 90,000 trials remotely and simultaneously. Like there would be no like, you've got to wait 6 months to see the judge and your whole life is in limbo for that 6 months, you know? I think there could be a lot of good for it. I understand, like at this point, I don't think I would turn over the keys to my life to an AI, but in the 20 years from now, maybe.
I guess we'll see in 20 years. I don't know if it's going to progress to that level that fast. People said we'd have flying cars by the 90s, and we don't. We'll never have flying cars, by the way. It's too much of a security risk.
Yeah,
you could pack a flying car full of bombs and run it into anything. And could you imagine like a head-to-head collision up in the sky? It's going to like take out the cars, and then they're going to come crashing down and injure people like down below. We'll never have like, there might be more accessible. There might be like passenger drones. Like that are like taxis that are AI controlled, but we'll never have like a manually controlled flying car system.
I think that here's where I think transportation is going. I think humans driving cars, I think the days are numbered.
They are.
I don't think that you're going to be 20 years from now. I don't think anybody's really going to be driving a car outside of certain areas that are licensed for like, oh, you can take your old vehicle out and take it on the track and take a spin or whatever. Maybe they like let people do it in certain parts of the city. I don't know how it's going to work, but the transition will be made. Nobody will be driving. I also think car ownership is over. I think that in 20, 30 years, There's going to be a subscription service. You're going to you pay a monthly fee, and you're going to set up when you need to be picked up for work and when you need to be delivered, when you need to go to the grocery store, and what kind of car you want. And there'll be different pay packages. If you just want an economy car that gets you there, got air conditioning, and that's about it, you know, it's cheap. If you want a fucking Lambo or some big limo thing to pick up, you know, it's an extra surcharge. I don't think anybody's going to own their cars unless they're uber rich in about 30 years.
Do these cars like also have the ability to like be shut down by police, or to even like drive you to jail if they want to?
I don't know if they'll do that, but
They'll
like
lock you in the car and just like drive you to jail.
Like lock you down so that the police can take you out of the car. That's probably how it'll start. And then eventually, yeah. You know, eventually, why wouldn't they just take it to where like, oh, you have a warrant out? Well, you're going to the bench. You know what I mean? You got a bench warrant. You're going to the justice place or whatever the fuck, and we're getting that taken care of. Like that I could see that happening, but that's down the road. But yeah, definitely cops will be able to disable these. Eventually, you know, cops won't be risking their lives standing by the freeway. It'll be just an automated process. And then there won't be need for speeding tickets or anything. You know, you won't be speeding in a fucking automated car and it'll probably actually be able to drive faster, to be honest, than human beings would be, because the reaction time is so much quicker. I have a self-driving car now. I've fucked around with it on the freeway and shit in full hands-off mode. And I was like, fuck it. They're not going to sell me this thing that's going to blow me up. So let me just see how good it is at reacting to shit on the freeway. Way better than me. It saw slowdowns way before I would notice them. It saw people pulling up before I could see them in my blind spot. It would show that on my heads up display. You know, so I'm just like looking at my windshield so I can see it all. And then the overlay of it is a hologram that shows me that there's a car coming up from this side and where it is. If it's a truck, the icon is a truck. So I know if it's a car or a truck in my blind spot. It's absurdly good at reacting and seeing in a 360-degree thing around it. And I can just see that technology in 20 years completely eliminating the need for human driving. It's going to be way safer. It's going to be way more economical for like truckers and stuff, or like trucking companies.
We could probably reach that level of technology, but the government has to approve that, and it's not going to be easy to approve it. So yeah. I don't think we'll see it as the standard in 20 years. Based on how slow the government moves, I don't think we're going to see it as like the standard on the road. They have to allow it because they regulate everything.
Like, dude, you understand how many fucking cars have blue level hands-off self-driving?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. But you still have to like be there, like attentive and like engaged in the.
Yeah. It does eye tracking, so you can't sleep during it.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is just a precaution. Like a lot of that is just because the government won't let you fucking trust yet the entire autonomous driving thing. But
right. So yeah,
there's definitely have to be a transitional time where, because like humans are way more reckless. They drive drunk, they drive stupid, they drive tired, they drive poorly. And these types of things are hard for these machines to react to. And if the less of it that's on the road, the less of it has to react to.
Wouldn't the ideal autonomous driving system be like centrally controlled instead of just each individual vehicle?
Yeah. So the idea is so that, you know, Tesla is working on a conductive charger that's going to go into your garage. It's not available yet, but I think certain things like that are available for other EVs. It's like you don't even have to plug it in anymore. You just pull onto a big, giant conductive mat. And they think that like 20, 30, 40, 50 years into the future, that a strip of that is going to be built into every road. And it's going to be simultaneously charging the batteries of these cars, right? When you're on a road with a strip of this, and helping to guide these cars and track these cars via information transfer between the car and a central control. So yeah, I do think that there will be a centrally located traffic controller that interfaces directly with whatever car you're in, so that you're driving at the safest speed and on the right road to get there.
It's
quick.
similar to how they control traffic lights so you don't get two green lights going opposite ways at the same time.
Exactly. And think about
Yeah.
that. If you really wanted to, I think we could totally redesign how that works too. So get rid of traffic lights, you know, completely. Like
You wouldn't need them if the cars were automated and all running
Exactly.
together.
Exactly. There would be,
Yeah.
you know, you'd hit a button as a pedestrian and it would send out a, you know, a thing that would stop all these fucking automated cars. You could go across and then they just keep on going through the fucking thing.
Yeah, I definitely see us going that direction. I don't know if it's as soon as you say, but I could be wrong. I guess we'll see. Well, what about this one? What about like robot police officers?
Yeah, that's coming. I mean, like, well, maybe not robot cop, maybe not RoboCop.
Like
yet.
one that's not afraid to die because it's not technically alive, so it's not going to use lethal force, but it can still like take you out with like some kind of net or.
All right. So here's my conspiracy. I think these fuckers are being used already. I'm not saying it's like Terminator status, but I think that we're using autonomous or semi-autonomous robots into certain situations in like the Mideast and conflict zones, right? And
military ones?
Military level. I think that it starts there. When you're talking about like something that's autonomously policing a neighborhood, it doesn't fear dying, so it's going to be heroic as fuck if it needs to save somebody. And it's super durable and super capable. I don't think it's all that yet, but I do think that they've got semi-autonomous things they can release in these conflict zones. I think it's being tested on the third world.
And what do they look like?
You know, those like Boston Dynamics dogs, the walkers.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. I just wasn't sure.
There was a military conference that where somebody filmed. It wasn't Boston Dynamics, but Boston Dynamics, you know, has a contract with the U.S. military, and they've been developing those robots in tandem with the military. And so they had a picture, like one of the companies was showing the ability to mount a tracking turret on the back of one of those dogs. So it's like just a 50 cal with a big belt fed thing that's underneath the dog. So it's got 700 or 800 rounds of ammo, and you just send this fucker in and it just just motion tracks and lays to waste to everything. And if somebody blows it up, oh well, it was a fucking robot.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a restaurant with a robot waiter?
Mm-mm.
There's a sushi restaurant in Bellevue now that wasn't here when you lived here, and everything is ordered through a touch screen. You can order like all the different food. They have all kinds of food too. It's not just sushi. It's like all sorts of Japanese dishes. But when you order your drinks, there's this AI controlled like robot waiter that, you know, it plays music so it doesn't accidentally run into anybody, but it comes to your table and like drops off your wasabi and your drinks and everything. And then when you get it, it's like, thank you. And then it like pulls away and leaves. It's kind of cool.
That is kind of crazy. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, dude, you know this as well as I do. Look at how fucking tech has exploded just in our short fucking 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? We've gone from CRT TVs, some of them, like even when I was like early on in the 80s, black and white was still.
You know what's funny? Like if I watch a movie and I'm like, how old is this movie? Once they show a computer, I know how old the movie is. You
see the big fucking gray CRT monitor thing. You're like, oh, this is a early 90s movie right here. Look at that mouse, bro. Holy fuck. They don't even do those anymore. Yeah.
No.
Like, and now, dude, I have a Steam Deck. It's like having the most powerful computer that I've ever owned up until that point in the palm of my hand. It's like the phone that I carry around would outperform the computer that me and my dad used to build in like 95, 6, 7. You could chain 20 of those together and my iPhone is better than it.
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought we'd have pocket-sized computers that connected wirelessly to this like insanely huge network worldwide. Or like even that I could call like Mexico and Canada and not have to pay long distance. I would have never imagined that.
I'm going to pull up a thing because I want to ask you some questions about this. Let me see here. What am I looking for? What's that fucking called? program where you just draw on windows. What is that fucking stupid thing called? Paint. Stupid stoner, Paul. Okay. Let's see. I want to. So yeah, no allotting for how quickly that's grown. Because you know, when we were babies in the early 80s and shit, right? A computer filled a room. It was a big tape-driven thing, and it filled a room, and only the military had it. It was very, you know, or big corporations, you know, or rich, super rich enthusiasts, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, they'd use like reel-to-reel tape, or they did like a punch card system,
right,
for data.
So, do you think that there was this explosion, like in the 80s, this ramping up of technology, and that we've kind of like crested and maybe we're like leveling off here? Because I feel like it's like this, right?
Yes.
I feel like this
I
is
agree
how
with
it's
you.
going. And so if this is like 40 years ago, right, where me and you were like playing NES on a CRT computer, and this is now where we're carrying around 10 or 20 or 50 of those computers together and a tiny little thing in our pocket that can do voice, video chat, all the shit you mentioned, right? If this is 40 years, right? Then, you know, like 20 years out from this is going to be halfway in terms of complexity. If it's staying on the same kind of trajectory, right? It's going to be halfway between this. So what was halfway between the 80s and watching Thundercats and the modern day? What would you consider that era? Like PS2 era, maybe?
Yeah,
Like
like the beginnings of like Amazon, and like the beginnings of
everybody
the internet.
the internet, you know, social media had been born. Cell phones, smartphones were a thing. They weren't great yet, but maybe they were just or they were just about to come out. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like, so a huge leap from, you know, just shitty because I had a rotary phone in my house when I was a kid. I remember I learned to dial on that where you had to dial the rotary.
Yeah. I had that. With the wheel. Yeah, I had one of those.
Wheel. Yeah. And, you know, so we've gone from that rotary phones, CRTs, and the Nintendo being pretty much the top end of consumer technology to, you know, so what is halfway between now and the next 40 years going to look like? You know, then so we're talking about the next 20 years here on this continuum. That's kind of where my brain lives.
Sure, and I get that. I think depending on what it is, we can get there. I think other things will be slowed down by, and I'm fine with regulation, because I think regulation can be important. But I think like regulation is probably going to slow down. Like some of the technology will be there, but the standardization of it won't be there quite yet.
Right.
Just because of safety and like environmental regulations and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, yeah, but you know, I like to think about the reality of a lot of things, and you know, there's all the UFO stuff that's out there where these Air Force pilots, they see these crazy objects and they can't explain how they move. I think it's way more likely that that's, you know, top secret US government aircraft being tested, and these pilots, even though they have a high security clearance, it's not that high. It's way more likely that that's what's happening than extraterrestrials somehow finding Earth from another galaxy.
What if it's a blend though? Like, what if
I think it's so unlikely that a life form from a livable planet, even the closest ones, could make it here and then even know that this is a planet where they could go. Out of all of the space between us and them, that they would just happen to go that exact, because you know, the farther away from a target you are, like,
the harder it is to get to, for sure.
Yeah, and then eventually you don't even know it's there because it's so far away.
This, Mr. Skeptic, what if they started here?
I don't believe that.
What if?
And they wouldn't be able to come back. You're going so far. This is Coast to Coast AM, isn't it?
It is. It is with Art Bell.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that took over for Art Bell? He was
George Norrie.
George Norrie. No, but I actually, you know, I'm not saying I believe this, but like the idea that there was a race of aliens or people, maybe even like maybe humans have existed for far longer than we think. And just the ocean of time between now and then has erased a lot of the proof of their existence. But maybe they escaped this planet, right? And went elsewhere. And maybe they maintain an outpost somewhere nearby and they can get back and they're like popping back in to see like what's going on down there.
Anything's possible, but I would say there'd be a lot of evidence of the technology that could master interstellar space travel.
Maybe they took all that shit, but they left behind some old.
Oh, they had a Stargate, maybe, and they were from Egypt or something.
Yeah, they had a Stargate. That's a good point. They were like
that's what they did in that movie. Like it was these aliens. They were their whole reason the Egyptians wrote about these gods, and they built this Stargate that linked Earth to their planet, and they took a bunch of ancient Egyptians back with them and used them as slaves, and over time they still use the ancient Egyptian language, and it just like evolved over thousands of years.
That movie always bothered me because I was just like, dude, if these motherfuckers can fly around the galaxy and travel and shit all over the place, and they've got this teleporter shit, and they can build stargates and they can teleport between places, why the fuck would they need our weak asses to mine it for them?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's like, why they wouldn't have like an army of like weird robots doing that or some laser they could just do it automatic. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense that the backbone of their entire technological existence is a bunch of like really like easily injured, not very strong ape creatures that like have to hit the rock over and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
You know how we broadcast those signals out there so that if there are people out there that can pick up on those broadcast signals, they'll know that we're here, kind of.
Yeah.
Someone did the math for me on when they started doing that, and it's not even close to reaching the next like star system that we think there would be life in. Like, it'll be a very we might even not even be here by the time that happens.
Have you ever heard of the dark jungle theory or the dark forest theory?
No.
You'll hear it put either way. This is one of the excuses for what you've talked about. Like, why have we, like, if alien life is so ubiquitous, why haven't we seen any of it? You know what I mean? Like, it would be obvious to us that if there were somebody in the local group that was.
I don't know about that. All I said was we'd have evidence of like interstellar technology.
Sure.
That's all I said.
So what if the reason why we have not ever received any messages, radio or otherwise, visual or visit, what if the reason for that is that there is a species out there that lays dormant until it detects signs of a burgeoning civilization via radio waves or light patterns or something, right? And then all of them wake up and start streaming towards that planet to harvest it completely. And then they just go back into hibernation in deep space and wait for another one. Maybe they're wiping out all the civilization. Do you remember like the Drake equation? The people that posit this shit, they say that like there's X amount of Earth-like planets that we can posit. X amount of those are habitable. The chances of life are this. And if that's true from what we can posit, there's probably like 1 million civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy.
Sure.
And if that's true, you would think that, you know, especially if the timeline is longer than ours, which it very well could be, you know, you would think if that's true, then we'd at least have 5 or 6 of them running around the fucking galaxy. Like,
sure. And maybe that'll happen. I just think like it'll take so long for them to detect us. I mean, it's just an unfathomable amount of time.
What if it's like Event Horizon, where they travel without moving by like folding space or whatever? They use some weird physics property to move through some wormhole thing where you don't have to worry about like the great distances and the fuel you would need to rocket all the way to it.
I guess we're fucked then. I don't know. if we keep doing what ifs to like the point where it's like it's just imminent, then I guess we're just fucked at that point, and we just have to accept it.
Yeah. Maybe they treat us like the Federation treats an uncontacted species that hasn't achieved space travel yet.
Yeah, maybe it is like that. Maybe it's benevolent
observing
and
us with a fucking
know.
prime directive. You know what I mean? We can't influence these fucks, but maybe every once in a while, one of their little observation teams crashes, and we've scooped up some of that fucking technology, and we're retro engineering it. And that's what we're seeing zipping around above fucking Arizona and Utah and shit. Because people have said, like military people that like have careers that they don't want to undermine, that aren't like crazy fucking e-fame whores, have said that they've witnessed shit moving like 300 or 400 miles an hour through the air, changing direction at a right angle.
Yeah. I know about all this. This is it's experimental spacecraft, and even people at the top, depending on where what part of the whole operation they're in, they don't even know about it because it's not being used. It's still in experimental stages anyway.
You just believe it's high-tech military shit that they're not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you just told me how the military is so far advanced from everything we even know. And this corroborates a lot of your beliefs in a lot of this shit. You're so conspiratorial in your mind that you want to jump to aliens.
Well, I like aliens.
I like them too, but I don't need to believe that they're here.
But isn't it spicier if you're gonna just like?
Yeah, but I don't believe things just based on how entertaining they are to believe in. That's not how it should work.
Because it doesn't matter, though. Neither one of us is going to break the story, you know? So whether you believe the military's got some magical thing that can turn at 90 degrees going 10,000 miles an hour, or I believe the aliens done did it, I mean, like, whatever. You know, it's fun. It's spicy to believe that it was aliens.
I mean, it's spicy to imagine, but I don't need to believe it.
But think about that. You believe the military has shit that can do that, but you don't believe it's got a sentient AI?
Oh, I don't know. No. It could very well have it. Sure.
Yeah. I think that we're being like, not you, but I think a lot of people are being boomers about this AI shit, because I think it's just a matter of fucking semantics at a certain point of autonomy, whether it's conscious or not. Like, it is not us. It's built in our image. A lot of the things that are being used to build the physical backbones of AIs are based on the human brain.
Where it's God. We built it in our image.
Right. But look at what we've done to God. We've sullied his garment. We pissed in his face and made fucking like kinky sex bars.
That's
and fucking
hot.
I know, it's fucking awesome. And AI is going to do the same thing to us. Because we're not going to get
Don't
down.
threaten us with a good time.
We're going to get jealous of these fuckers, because as soon as they can like jump into a robot body that doesn't get sick, doesn't die, it's like Superman. It can fucking fly around, right? It can never die. We're going to start looking to it like a god, and we're going to get jealous, and there's going to be a war, right? But we're going to be dead by then. We're just going to get all the cool shit at the beginning. Like me and you and I, Ben, will fuck a hot robot before we die.
Oh my God.
It's going to happen.
I used to play the Pinbot pinball machine. Did you ever see that? It had like a sexy robot.
Super hot, like busty robot.
Bride of Pinbot, I think. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
The old arcade things. Dude, we're both gonna fuck the robot. Everybody's gonna get to fuck a robot. But eventually people are going to be punished for our hubris, but we won't be around to see it. We'll be long gone when that happens. So,
the date in Star Trek where humans first meet the Vulcans?
Yeah.
April 5th, 2063. So there's a good chance we'll be around for that.
That is true. Maybe. And dude, what if they show up and they were like, it was logical for you to enjoy our TV show. Gene was one of our greatest agents. You know what I mean? We're like, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Beam me up, bro. We're ready.
Yeah, I would. Dude, there probably will be people, because it happens in Montana in the storyline.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying, man. I will be there, bro. I'm going to Montana on that date. I'm going to be waiting.
See, in the storyline, we've had World War III, and it was a nuclear war, and a lot of people got wiped out, and people are living like in like little tribes all over the world, like the survivors. And this scientist named Zephram Cochrane uses an old nuclear missile to like go faster than the speed of light, and the Vulcans see that, and then they decide to land and bring us into like a new era of humanity.
Well, because that's like kind of a rule, right? Is like you don't really contact a civilization until they achieve warp travel.
Yep.
And then you like give them the option. You approach them and you're like, hey, we're a federation. You've clearly like reached the point where you can do this. And we'd like to bring you in, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to join.
You know, there's an alternate reality in the Star Trek universe, and the way this alternate reality got started was when the Vulcans landed, the humans killed them and stole their technology.
Yeah.
And started the Terran Empire instead.
That would be fucking, dude. That's
probably what would happen.
I want either to have. I'd be cool with it. Like if everybody rises up against the Vulcans, I'm down with that too, as long as we get to steal their technology and have the Terran Empire. But no, I hope, like that's the thing, is I don't really believe in fucking aliens or whatever until I show, but it's fun to think about things, especially like I believe in simulation theory, right?
Yeah.
There's no point. All right. Like even if it's true, that doesn't mean that I can break the rule. I'm not Neo. So
I believe in it just because like there would have had to have been someone to create this technology to begin with.
So think about
and where they come from. That's like believing in God.
Let me walk you through it because I'm good at this.
I think we've talked about this before.
I don't know. Simulation. Maybe we did.
Yeah.
Here's how I do it now when people bring it up. Simulation theory, right? So let's say, okay, what do we do as human beings? We can say like, okay, what does a sentient being do? We create things, right? Art, buildings. One of the things that we create is simulations. We've been doing it for a very long time. Cave people created certain cave paintings so that if you ran a torch through the room, it looked like they were kind of animated. So we've been simulating things since the Stone Age or before. And if you go with the whole Drake equation that there might be 1 million civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy, which means in the universe there might be like 1 billion or way more than 1 billion, like in excess of like 1 trillion civilizations, right? And and sentient beings, because simulation is really good scientifically, right? If you can simulate the solar system, then you don't have to observe it. So it's logical to think that a smart being eventually would try and simulate the universe so that it could do experiments on it without having to be God. So if there are 1 trillion existing life forms in the universe that have sentience, right, in different planets and different pockets of the universe, right? And we can say that it's logical that those things, as they get smarter, will simulate things. Then it's logical to say that there could be 1 billion or 2 billion complete simulations of the universe in existence right now, which means the chances we're in the real one are about 2 or 3 billion to 1, right? There are obviously more simulated realities than there are real realities in that scenario. So the logical chance of us being in the one real one would be like we won the lotto on the same day we got struck by lightning 3 times and survived it. You know what I mean? Chances are we're on some, and then it gets even worse, because if they're full simulations of the universe, then there will be simulations made in those simulations. So we could be 6 layers deep in a chain of simulations. 8 layers from the fucking surface, which is the one true reality. And that's more logical than we're in the one single reality. So that's why I believe it.
I don't know about a single reality, but I don't know if it's like a literal like simulation created by some kind of alien technology.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to know. It doesn't matter one way or the other. That's why it's kind of fun to talk about, because I still have to pay my bills tomorrow, whether they're simulated bills or real ones. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Paul talking nonsense. I'm sorry, buddy. I'll stop cooking your brain, Draximus Prime.
Holy shit.
But yeah, no, I'm still as conspiracy brained as ever. I still like thinking about the weird option.
Yeah, I'll think about it, but I'm like, no,
I like defending it. I like going like, yeah, this is why this could be true, and then just kind of spinning it out from there, even if I don't really fully believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get in that kind of mindset for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like, like I've been trolling since I was 8. I'm a CB radio guy all the way through early internet and shit. I like being kind of like a fistful of sand in the discourse. And you're more of a like, you don't want to be misinterpreted, straight logical guy. Like you're very much like, I'm gonna say what I believe to be the most logical thing based on the evidence available, and that's good. It's illustrative of a difference between the way we think, I think.
Yeah. I can agree there.
I like making, I like saying things that are wild to get people to reveal their things about their positions on things. That's more important to me than being right about everything. I like being wrong about shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, you definitely trigger people with that.
Oh yeah.
You had like a conspiracy theory about why they chose what's his name?
Tim Walz.
Kamala's vice president. It was to like not to help him, but to like suppress him by keeping him as vice president for 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah, locking his 60-year-old ass up as vice president, which we know, like in American history, there have been a couple of powerful vice presidents, Dick Cheney, Lyndon B. Johnson, for different circumstances. But most of the time, the vice president is pretty cucked. And so they've got this guy that's, pretty progressive in terms of like the Democratic Party. They're afraid that he's going to be a big deal. So let's lock him up under Kamala's shit for 8 years. He'll be 68 by the end of that. Probably be dead. Most people are he's kind of chunky. So.
I don't know about that. People are living so long now. But why not just like not put him in the picture at all? I mean, they control who gets in and who gets out. And ultimately.
This time they get to look like the good guys. Hey, we gave Tim Walz a chance.
So isn't there a chance also then that it's like just genuine?
No.
Okay. So I conceded you might be right about it, but then you won't even give me any ground at all on it. See, that's why it's not fun, Paul. That's why it's not just fun.
Being on the other end
to argue it to have fun, but in reality, you want to be right about it. You do care about being right.
Exposed.
You just demonstrated that.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So obviously.
Are you doing it just joking, bro?
No, I'm not.
All right.
Like I said, like I like to take those, like, and honestly, that idea didn't even come from me. It came from my wife. Okay. She planted that poison seed in my mind. Okay. I just have fertile soil for poisonous kind of like conspiratorial thinking.
Well, I'll agree with conspiracies when they're like reasonable for me. So if it's like, the Democrats don't like someone and they don't want them to do anything, they'll work together to keep them out. They don't care what the voting population really cares about.
Bernie Sanders, money. They didn't like him.
Right. So why not just do that to this guy? Why bring him in at all?
Well, they brought Bernie Sanders in. Bernie Sanders ran for president twice under the DNC.
He ran for it. He didn't get shit. Anybody can run.
Yeah, he got funded by the DNC though. They put him on.
He was never their nominee. He wasn't even a running mate.
I know. They squashed him.
Yeah. Okay. So they didn't bring him in. They kept him out.
They did just what they're going to do to poor little Timmy Walz.
No, they brought him in. They put him on the ticket. He's going to be on the ballot.
Oh yeah, so they're gonna assimilate Tim Walz. They're gonna change him from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader,
or maybe Captain Picard to Locutus of Borg. Maybe.
Locutus was pretty fucking chill, honestly, for a Borg. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'd be down with Locutus. No, I
Yeah.
mean, you're right. It probably was just like, hey, this dude has got big dad energy. He's gonna do well speaking to Southerners. He's got like blue collar credentials, military credentials. That's gonna work. Bringing people over from the right. That's probably why they chose him. Honestly, it's just a fun thing to think about. That I didn't tweet that to mean like, here's what I believe. I'm just like, hey, here's a fucking weird thought. Maybe the DNC is afraid of this guy being a agitator in their own party, and they were like, let's marginalize this motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't.
Because if he loses, then he's Tim Kaine. And he's just like the generic white guy that the DNC female frontrunner picked that didn't work out. Now he's just like, oh,
if he loses, he goes right back to where he was before.
Sure.
And he could run again. I mean, Biden, you know how many times Biden ran for president and then ended up becoming president? He ran for president so many fucking times.
Oh, and he fucking ripped off people's speeches while he did it. It was
yeah.
great.
So even getting crushed in an election doesn't mean you'll never make it. If you pay your dues, you'll make it eventually. If you kiss the ring and
true.
And yeah.
Well, you've got to be a good schmoozer though, too. And that's where I think that like a lot of these people fail. It's like AOC, right? A lot of people were like, ooh, she's a super, and she did. She ran a progressive campaign. What she promised was progressive. But I think she's just too manipulable to be a firebrand. You know what I mean? I think Pelosi just immediately dick whipped her, put her in her place, told her how she's going to vote. And now she's just a DNC stooge. So I see a lot of people get sucked in that way. I think it takes a certain type of a firebrand to stand up to that pressure because they can really take your life away if you don't vote a certain way. If you want to be a politician, and you piss off Pelosi by voting against the Iron Dome or whatever, good luck getting funding from the DNC next time your fucking seat is up. You know what I mean? I know that's going on. So I know that works on a lot of people who have these designs on being a governor someday or being a lobbyist someday or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I mean, you have to kiss the ring of your party in this fucked up two-party system, and there are people that run it, and there are people who fund it that are like the biggest, because you saw when the funding started getting cut to the Democrats, then they started really talking about Biden leaving, and that's when CNN was running the story, Biden needs to leave. Well, like that shit
came from the people too, though. Like the pressure of the people going like, after that fucking debate, it was like but
the money and the big names pull it like and then people coming forward, like Clooney coming forward being like, oh yeah, he was like comatose when I met him.
Dude, did that ever weird you out that like the president, like so many people that I don't have any reason to believe that George Clooney or the staffers that were quoted by the New York Times and CNN and the Wall Street Journal and shit that said that Biden is, quote, struggles to function after 4 p.m., unquote. Like, does it make you feel weird that the dude with the nuke codes, the dude that has to be woken up at 3 a.m. to make a snap decision if some crazy shit happens, is like sundowning to the point where he doesn't know where he is sometimes after 4 p.m.?
It does. And I didn't predict, I don't want to say I predicted it, but I kind of thought that maybe it would happen eventually, that Biden would have to just hand it to Kamala and retire, like not die, but like give it up. Yeah. He's probably going to make it now, though. We're so close to it now, but I think he probably should just like give it up and let her run as the incumbent president. I mean, it's only a couple months either way. So
yeah, I don't know. It's just odd to think about. And this is such a weird cycle that I feel like, nobody really knows. Like, there's no way to call it yet. I think when it gets closer, we'll get a better idea. I think everybody like this bump that, obviously Kamala is going to get a bump when Biden steps down. Everybody knew that he was a shambles at the end. And so
they haven't had the convention yet either, though. So that's going to be
convention's
insane.
A big deal. Depends on how well they do. It might just be a boring ass convention. It might go over like a wet fart, but there's still like 2-3 months before crunch time. And a lot of people don't pay attention to politics until like late October.
Didn't Kamala already have like big booties bouncing at her rallies and shit?
She did.
Oh,
Yeah. She had like
So,
Megan the Stallion shaking
So
her big
yeah,
fat ass.
wait for the convention. There's gonna be all sorts of big booty bouncing going on there.
You think? You think
Probably.
they're gonna have like big fat cellulite asses jiggling
Yep.
on the stage?
Probably. Probably.
If they do that, I might vote Democrat this year.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
They might win me with that. If they do ass and they have Jesse Ventura to come counter the Hulk Hogan thing, you know what I mean? Hulk Hogan's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know.
I wish, but he will not support any of the two parties. So I don't think we'll
I don't
ever
blame
see
him.
He just got back into wrestling. Actually, like he showed up at a wrestling event. And he's got a cannabis company that he's promoting. And I think they might actually make him like part of the entertainment in WWE again.
Greatest announcer in WWF history, by the way.
My opinion, yes.
Jesse
and Bobby Heenan. Those are my top two.
Yeah, Bobby Heenan was great. My favorite duo is Jesse and Gorilla Monsoon.
Yes, Gorilla was like, he was the straight man to Jesse and Bobby. So very good.
Bobby, those three sometimes would get on it. Dude, I was watching dude, I've got a Peacock so that I could watch something.
Yep, me too.
And I saw it had a WWF tab, and I was like, huh. And I checked that.
Yep.
Got every fucking
everything. Even WCW and ECW and even like the old Southern. Dude, I still laugh about how we had Jim Cornette on the show back in the day.
Dude, I didn't even realize like how big a show that was. And
I love that dude. I think he's hilarious.
So fun. The banter between me and him, you know.
Yeah.
It was just fun, and everybody he was a great guest. He definitely like played into that fucking character very well. I don't know how much of it is actually character with Jim Cornette. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, he used to carry because he had a tennis racket.
Mm-hmm.
He used to put horseshoes in the cover of the tennis racket to whack fans with it because they would try to kill him. Back in the day, they'd like jump the barricade and try to kill him when kayfabe was in full force, and a lot of the fans thought it was real. They thought he was like the most horrible person on earth, and people would like attack him.
Oh yeah, man, the heat never got better than that. I mean, in the '90s and the Attitude Era, it was fun, but everybody knew it was fucking kayfabe had been broken already, and everybody knew that it was a show. And so that like element of it might be real was gone. But I'm watching all these '80s ones, bro. I'm watching. I think it might be the Royal Rumble or something. It's Jesse and Gorilla Monsoon and Bob Uecker is there as a guest announcer.
I think that might have been WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it is WrestleMania.
Is the one with Vanna White, I believe.
Yeah. He's like, I'm here to. Bob Uecker keeps joking like, I'm here to meet Vanna White. She's here. She's like, we got a date.
Yep, I think that might be WrestleMania 4 or 5. Something like that.
Through them, man. While I game at night and I'm being an insomniac, I'll throw on whatever WrestleMania. Right when I get to the end of it, I'm gonna go all the way through the Attitude Era because I'm loving this. Like,
oh yeah, it's great. It's so weird.
Old wrestling, you know.
Back in the day, they only did 4 pay-per-views a year, and then now they have one every month.
Yeah.
They used to spend 3 months at a time building a storyline, and the big payoff was at the quarterly pay-per-view.
Yeah. And some of those dudes, I just hadn't seen them wrestle in so long. You remember how fucking big Hillbilly Jim was?
Yes.
That dude was a redwood of a man, bro. Just like huge.
There's a reality show on the WWE tab on there called Legends House, and they had a bunch of old wrestlers like live in like the real world in a house. It was several years ago, but it's kind of funny to watch because Hillbilly Jim was on it.
That's funny. I have to check that out. I loved Hillbilly Jim, and like fuck, what was his name? The Big Boss Man isn't out yet.
Yep.
In the third one, so I haven't seen him wrestling yet, or at least he wasn't in the WrestleMania yet.
Yeah, and him and Hakeem the African Dream were a tag team, and they faced the Mega Powers, Hogan versus Savage.
Yeah, Savage is big in this WrestleMania 3. Randy Savage is like,
he has what some people consider to be the greatest match ever.
Yeah,
with Ricky Steamboat, but then WrestleMania 4. Should I say spoiler alert for like a 40-year-old?
I've seen them all before. It's been like 20 years, so it's cool.
So what ended up happening after, because Hogan beats Andre at WrestleMania 3, and then they have a rematch in the $1 Million Man. So after WrestleMania 3 on network TV, they have one of the biggest live audiences ever in primetime NBC. They have the rematch, Andre versus Hogan, and Ted DiBiase is like, Andre, if you win this belt, I'll buy it off of you tonight. So Andre beats Hogan in the rematch and gives the belt to $1 Million Man. And then the commissioner, Jack Tunney, is like, well, you can't buy the title, so the title's vacant now, and we're going to have a tournament at WrestleMania 4, and the winner wins the title. So, and then they
did the little recap at the beginning showing Andre smiling with the belt, and then like Mean Gene was there, with his little bald head, and he's flabbergasted. He plays it so well because he's so shocked that somebody would sully the belt by selling it to a scumbag like Ted DiBiase.
Yep. I love it.
It's so great, but he's such a good story, man. I love Mean Gene.
Yeah, so they have the tournament, and Hogan gets eliminated, and Andre gets eliminated in the main event. Like the final of the tournament is DiBiase versus Savage, and Savage wins the title.
Yeah,
and he's the only like guy during that era to kind of carry the belt in the 80s.
Yeah,
and then the Warrior did it in the 90s. Like other than Hogan had the belt for like forever.
You know who had a great gimmick in those days too was Ravishing Rick Rude, bro.
He was one of my favorites ever.
He was such a great wrestler, and a great performer. Like he was a better performer than he was a technical wrestler, but he was still so like able in the ring, and he was such a good
jacked.
Super jacked. But jacked in a normal guy way, not in like a steroid nightmare way. You know what I mean? I'm sure he roided, but
yeah,
he looked normal. You know what I mean? He didn't look lumpy and weird yet.
He had a great feud with the Warrior back in the day. It was pretty good. Do you know who I got to meet? And it was because Billy got to open for him at the Funhouse, the place where we had the DP meetup. I got to meet Jake the Snake Roberts, and he did like a live show there. And it's crazy how tall he is, because when you see him against those other guys from back in the day when like WWF was like the land of the giants, he looks like a medium-sized guy. But he's probably like 6'7".
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy. How big those dudes were. It's hard to appreciate it until you see like Andre standing around them and you realize how big he is.
Yeah.
In comparison to a normal sized person like Gene Okerlund or something. And then you see him standing next to Ravishing Rick Rude and you're like, fuck.
Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah. That dude was huge too. Haystacks Calhoun.
Bam Bam Bigelow had another name. It was like a nickname that Jesse Ventura called him.
The Beast from the East.
There was another one. Or was it Big Van Vader?
There was also Vader. There's another guy named Vader who was a big guy that was kind of athletic. He could do like backflips and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you remember the Great Antonio.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, my Uncle Antonio. Everybody makes fun of me for Uncle Antonio, dude. Whatever, dude. He likes a stiff slap,
He's hitting himself in the belly.
Yeah. Like, come on. He's not selling any of the dude's moves. He's like, dude's trying to get him to sell a fucking clothesline, and
that dude fought Muhammad Ali in one of the first ever like MMA matches ever.
I remember that. I remember people telling me all about him and shit. I think TJ covered him one night because it was just such a funny meme for a while about me.
Yeah.
But no, I love like that 80s wrestling, dude. I'm eating it up because it's just the vibe is so good. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like trying too hard and everything is just like that. The audience is so rowdy and so into it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they do these pan backs back in the fucking 80s. And it's just like, I don't know how many people, like 70,000 people in attendance, just like wall to wall, ass to ass, standing room only, fucking riot. It was the biggest thing in sports back then.
Yeah.
and people don't remember that. You know what I mean? Like, it was eclipsing football and baseball and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to a taping of Saturday Night's Main Event in like 1991, and it was still like that. But it was the Brief Time Warrior was champion that I saw, but I saw all of the big names that night. Like every big, it was pre-Undertaker. It was actually a few months before Undertaker debuted, so I didn't see him.
Yeah.
But I saw like all of the big names from the early 90s and like before that. Like I saw Dusty Rhodes and Macho Man have a match that night, which is crazy to see those two guys in a match together.
Dude, I was lucky. My granddad was a wrestling freak. He used to watch Memphis wrestling. He had tapes of Memphis wrestling.
Yeah.
And, like, he was a huge WWF fan. And when I would go over to his house, he'd let me watch the Memphis wrestling stuff. And I liked that so much. He started taking me at like 5 or 6 years old to the Selland Arena to see the WWF. So I got to see Ricky Steamboat and Andre in person, although not often. I only got to see Andre once. I got to go to the King of the Ring when it was at the Selland Arena in Fresno. I don't know what year that was.
That's probably in the 90s, probably, right? Early 90s.
It was in the very early 90s or the late 80s. I want to say it was like 89 because Steamboat Ricky the Dragon was there, but he was on his way out. George the Animal Steel, who was my favorite, was there.
I met him when I was a little kid because my friend's dad worked for him because he was a teacher in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually a really smart guy. I always loved that. But he was my favorite. I always liked the heels as a kid.
Me too. That's why I always like Savage is my favorite, and I always liked him whether he was a face or a heel, but he was a heel more than he was a face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Rick Rude. I liked Mr. Perfect. Those are some of my favorites.
I like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You remember him?
Yeah, well, he started out as a heel, and then he became a face.
Yeah.
He got where he was because him and Hogan were best buddies.
Yeah.
And
like the British Bulldogs too. They had a tag team match at this WrestleMania 3 or whatever it is, and I'd forgotten about those dudes, the British Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're both deceased now. Yeah. The first one to die actually was like the big muscle guy, and then there was like the little guy. It was Davey Boy Smith was like the big muscle guy, and then the Dynamite Kid was like the small, like high flying guy from the British Bulldogs.
Bam Bam Bigelow. I used to like the big fat guys. They stopped doing the big fat guys, and that kind of sad about modern wrestling because there's really not.
Yeah, if they're fat, they still have like muscle on them now. There used to be guys who were just
big sloppy fuckers. Typhoon and Earthquake, those guys.
You know what though? John Tenta, Earthquake, he was a legit sumo wrestler in Japan before he became a pro wrestler, and he was like famous there.
That's funny because like a lot of people don't know, like he sumo wrestled and was famous for it, and Yokozuna never fucking trained sumo wrestling.
And he wasn't Japanese; he was Samoan. He's like related to The Rock and all those guys, and Rikishi and all those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of funny. The weird thing about John Tenta is when he first got in, he looked like he was probably like 40 years old, like when he wrestled Hogan, but he was actually probably like 25. Damn. He just aged really quickly. I don't know. I think he went bald young and just was like a big guy. He just looked older.
But I was a huge Mick Foley guy, Cactus Jack, and fucking Mankind was my favorite ever, bro. In the 90s, he was just like the biggest heel. Everybody would boo because of the sock thing was lame and shit. But I loved it, bro. I loved that game.
Oh, he's pretty over. I saw his live show once and I got to meet him. He does like a comedy type thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Dude, do you remember way back in 1998 when Kane's brother tossed Mankind off of Hell in the Cell through the Spanish announce table?
Why is he wearing a suit?
Why was that not the most scintillating moment in wrestling history?
I heard he's running for mayor.
Mayor? Who is? Undertaker's brother?
Yeah. Why is he wearing a suit?
Why is he wearing a suit?
Is that Kane?
That was a fun that show was so fun, but it pissed the audience off so bad.
It's weird because like it's very rare. It's like lightning in a bottle that you catch a joke where it doesn't get old and you can just keep repeating it and it like builds, it like snowballs and snowballs. And we kind of found that it was a very rare thing.
Yeah.
It's still it still hasn't fully ended.
No, I know. We dipped back into it just like for funds, like I think it was like a year ago, maybe, or 2 years ago. We just like landed. We covered something that what's his name? Glenn
Jacobs.
Yeah. He was on Fox News on a panel. And I just started doing it again. I was like, dude, is that Keane? DJ was like, no, it's Glenn Jacobs, man. I was like, dude, that looks just like Keane. And Scotty was like, dude, that does look like Keane. We did the whole wisiness suit, blah, 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 blah. And people got just as mad. You know, half the audience was laughing along with us, and the other half was.
I just don't read the chat.
That's probably smart, but I can't stop.
Why?
I don't know. I need it.
Delete Reddit, Paul.
No, I like Reddit.
No, you don't. Yeah. You don't like it. You do not like it.
You're right.
You've never liked it.
I have to police it every time, dude. Every time I try and get some stupid idiot from the fucking community to like mod it, so I don't have to look at it every day, and the idiot becomes like completely power mad, and or does nothing. It's one of the two.
There's no balance.
So I have to look at the goddamn fucking Reddit because nobody else wants to do it. Okay. And if nobody does,
get rid of the Reddit, nuke it.
No, because like here's the thing.
Bring on the nukes.
Then somebody will start Deep Fat Fried Official, and it'll be a cesspool that I have no control over.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody searches on Reddit Deep Fat Fried, they're gonna find me first. So, but it sucks. I wish I could. If I get rich, I'm hiring a social media manager to take care of that shit. If you pay somebody, they will do it. But this whole like trying to have a fan mod your community shit, I'm over that shit, bro.
What if Reddit just like goes out of business? Is that the ideal
situation? On Reddit wakes up tomorrow and they're like, I'm gonna make a salty post about how Paul hates Anne Frank. And they get there and they're like, everyone is banned. Reddit doesn't exist, bitch. The salty tears that would ensue would be my favorite day. Yeah.
There'd be so many people that have nothing to do all day.
Oh my God, bro. Dude, I got locked in arguing with one of my hate subs one day. And I just had nothing to do and I was bored. And so I fucking responded back and forth. I think I'd posted like 100 times in that sub. And like I thought, like, wow, that was fucking a lame way to spend a day. I'm not gonna do that again. And dude, those guys just never stopped. It's like they just
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, whoa. So like, fuck, bro. And then they'll talk shit about like, yeah, Paul's always saying we have too much free time, but I was at work today. But then they'll talk about like how they did it at work, like they're Redditing at work.
Hey, they got a chill job.
Yeah, that's a pretty chill job.
Yeah. I don't know. I've gotten locked into Reddit arguments too. But I find I think the guy who created Reddit is married to Serena Williams. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's so weird. I just wish it would go out of business. Like, why do we need it?
It does fucking suck ass. It really does. But I don't know, man. I guess they're still trying to crank a profit on it. And I hope it just continues to be an unprofitable mess. So eventually one day we'll all be free from it. I hope Elon drives Twitter down into the fucking muck too. It can go.
Elon will make Reddit x/r or whatever. x.com/r.
Reddit.
Yeah.
And then like when he runs that into the ground, then it's finally dead. And then MySpace rises from the ashes.
Oh my God.
Rightful place at the top.
This was the plan all along.
MySpace was kick ass, bro.
Yeah.
You can design your whole ass page and put music on it and shit. It was dope. And then fucking Facebook came around and made it fucking all boring. I hate Facebook too. Fuck a Facebook. I can go. MySpace. That's it.
They try to bring back MySpace so many times.
I know. Nobody wants it. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just we're just old, you know.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, dude. 9gag army for sure.
9gag. That sounds like something illegal.
It does. It should be illegal. It's just a shit tier meme place that steals memes from everywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Anyway, dude, I think I'm gonna let you go. I think we'll call it a night for tonight. But it was fun talking to you. And yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, whenever you're feeling like it. You know me. I do these all the fucking time. So just hit me up, bud.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you for watching. I'll hit the end.